He's back. Hello, everyone. Blaze Rage, M Blood, Sarah. Hold on. Sarah, Maxern, Sebastian, M Blood, Xenon, Blacksmith, Spirit Noodle, Mystic, Crollo, Mr. Lucifer. How are you? Eamon D, Treb. I think it said Spirit Noodle already. Vehement. How dare I stream on Wednesdays like I've been doing for almost 5 months now? Sorry, Andres. MD's Nuts, hello. Wolfman. Bruce Wayne. Not Mishka. Yes, listen everyone. You don't have to worry. Togashi is back. But he's gonna be writing at least a few chapters. You don't need to be pessimistic. You don't need to be hesitant about the news. A day has gone by, and there's been no official denial or anything. He's got more than 1.5 million followers. Maria Issei, Megami Han have both tweeted it out. I've been talking about it. Official outlets have been talking about it. It's been around the world. It's been in the news. It's been a phenomenon. They would have hushed it up if this was false. Guys, don't worry. There will be new Hunter x Hunter chapters. At least a few. You can be 100% sure. It's been more than a day. They would have denied it by now. After the way it blew up, it would have been denied. Drunk Eldian, Skip, Luciano, Pilot, Davinator, Freaks, Wolfman, K-Sid, Schwassam. Yeah, Crollo himself is in the chat. Spirit Noodle, hello again. Imposter, Vanilla. I'm doing good, guys. I'm doing great. Yesterday was a fantastic day. I tried to wake up and be productive yesterday and maybe watch Everything Everywhere All at Once in the morning because I had stuff to do during the day. I couldn't. I was literally just scrolling through Twitter for 3 hours. And so yes, with regards getting at least 10 chapters or so at least a volume's worth like he's done after previous hiatuses. Yeah. I imagine we get at least 10, like that's what people have been saying. And people have been saying what he tweeted out. By the way, thank you for the follow, El Pachuzo. People have been saying that what he tweeted out was, let me just put it on screen. This is so beautiful. I haven't stopped looking at it for 12 hours now. So what he tweeted out here, people are saying this translates to I've finished 6 chapters and there are 4 more chapters that are to come. I don't know Japanese, but some say that's going to be 10 chapters to a volume. There's no date. Thank you so much for the resub, Freeze Thor. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Username, hello. Blaz, Tommy Strong. Being on Twitter yesterday was amazing. Yeah, I was so unproductive yesterday. At least in the morning. I just kept scrolling. His assistant said it would be 10. There you go. But yeah, so, and then the tree. Oh, the tree. So, guys, if you're not caught up with the manga, maybe for the next 5-10 minutes, come back in about 10 minutes or so we can start discussing Greed Island, but oh, this tree. I've never seen a more beautiful tree in my life. The Yggdrasil, don't worry about the Yggdrasil. Mid. The Air Tree, Elden Ring, mid. Ganishka's Tree, Berserk, mid. The Deku Tree, the Great Deku Tree, mid. Fuck the Erd Tree. Thank you for the follow, CF. And sorry, chat's going really fast, so sorry, Freeze Thor, if you want to put that resub towards something, please let me know. How's it going, Elijah? Pedrolito, how's it going? How haven't I liked the tweet? That's bizarre. No, I did like it. Wasn't it? I don't know. Why are these not liked? That's crazy. How's it going, Panda Wema? Okay, guys, so I've been seeing a lot of questions. Do you think he'll release more than 10 chapters? I have no idea. No clue at all. No clue. All we know is for sure it seems like there will be 10 because it seems like 6, at least the manuscripts for 6 are done and he's doing 4 more. I think it's safe to expect a minimum of 6. I think it's safe to expect a minimum of 6. Anything more than that, I wouldn't get my hopes up or my expectations up, rather. Because let's just enjoy a handful of new chapters. You know, the Succession War's continuing. It's continuing, and we never thought it would. What's this? Oh, this tree. I've never seen a more beautiful tree in my life. The Yggdrasil? Don't worry about the Yggdrasil. Mid. The Air Tree. Elden Ring? Mid. Ganishka's tree, Berserk. Mid. I need to tweet this right away. The Deku tree, the Great Deku tree, mid. Fuck the Erd tree. I was reading that off chat. Thank you for the follow, CF. Oh, this tree. I've never seen a more beautiful tree in my life. The Yggdrasil. Hold on, let me just tweet this. The Yggdrasil. Let me just tweet this real quick. That was a great clip. So yeah, I would expect a handful. I wouldn't expect more than that, but hey, a nice bonus if we get more than that, right? I have been saying for years, if Togashi, I don't think that any of us should expect Togashi to come back, but if he comes back, that's a hell of a nice bonus. This is a hell of a nice bonus, right? I'm just happy that the Succession War is continuing in some regard. You know, that's just amazing. We're getting new material. We can talk in a second about what this tree might be about. We can talk. What do you guys think the tree's about? We won't talk too long about it because it's a blurred out, zoomed in, rough tree. But we can talk about it a little bit. Flash. So yeah, Korta backstory from Phantom Troop perspective, possibly. Flashback. No, I think the tree's just a background asset. I think it's just background nature art. You're asking the wrong person, Vanilla. I don't know. I don't know anything about how long in advance Shonen Jump announces continuations. Sorry.
Chaos.
Oh shit. Thank you so much for the 20. Holy shit. It's a celebration in here, eh? Thank you so much for the 20 gift subs, guest. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, chat's going so fast. I might not be able to see what you give that towards unless you if I miss gift subs or what those goals will go towards, please DM me or something, or message me privately on Twitch or on my anime list or somewhere. Thank you so much for the 20 guests. That's incredibly generous. Thank you so much. What do you want that to go towards? Please let me know. Holy shit. So what I think. Do you think he will rush to finish this arc, something as continue as planned, or do something else? No, no rushing. Togashi will not rush. The one thing we know about Togashi is he is so focused in, honed in on his vision. Thank you for the follow, Crunked Chimera. Emir video and the rest towards AI Somnium Files. Perfect. Also, Freeze Thor, I think I've missed. If you've told me what you want those to go towards, I think I missed it. But hopefully I get a hold on it in a second, or soon. Emir plus AI Somnium. Perfect. So yeah, I don't think Togashi's gonna rush anything. Togashi's never been one to rush. He's been so honed in on what his vision is, what he wants the series to be, what he wants Hunter x Hunter to be, all of that. He's been very focused and prioritizing, his vision. I don't know how else to put it. He's not gonna rush it. He's not gonna sacrifice quality for the sake of rushing to finish in his lifetime or something, I, an empath, sense that this chat is excited about Hunter x Hunter's return. Damn, Spirit Noodle. I wish I was an empath. I wasn't able to get that. It's explained, Elijah. It's explained in the reward. You just tell me two things. Could be two stories, two characters, whatever, two video games, and I tell you which one I prefer. Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, the tree. Okay, the tree. I don't know. I don't think there's much we can gauge from it, but I do think it could potentially be a Kurapika Kurta flashback, like Shadow was talking about earlier. It could potentially be a Whale Island thing. It could potentially be just people talking about things on the Dark Continent again and just showing a visual of the Dark Continent that includes trees. It could be a flashback for any one of the characters in a place that involves trees. It could be anything. So I wouldn't get too wrapped up in theorizing specifically, but nonetheless, it's so hype. There's just it's so funny. New Hunter x Hunter content. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Morbus Kid, for the sub Morbus Kid. Glad you're enjoying the One Piece streams. Towards Breaking Bad Fly. Perfect. I'll put that in right now. That puts that up to 71%. Thank you again, Morbus. But yeah, it's just so cool. We're getting new content. Regardless of what it is, next Togashi's going to show us a dirty sock on the ground, or like a crumpled up piece of paper on the floor, and I'm going to be living. I'm going to be living for it. Togashi, the only man who can break the community with the image of a tree? Absolutely. Gin-san, thank you for the follow. How's it going, Santi? So yeah, it could be a number of things. It could be like 4 or 5 distinct things, all of which are exciting because it's new content, and like a flashback would be cool because more context for any of the characters is just sick. Whale Island would be amazing to get back into that perspective, see what's going on over there. Kurapika Kurta stuff, that might be the most exciting thing for me, just because we'd be diving in deeply into that stuff. All of them are exciting in different ways. I think I'd be most excited about what Shadow said with the Kurta. How long will you guess until this releases in manga and anime form? Anime, don't hope for the anime, Treb. Don't expect anything from an anime, from an adaptation. And how long until it releases? I don't know. But it's coming, and that's all that matters. I can wait 5 years just knowing that it's coming, What is your opinion on the stuff regarding the Succession War? Personally, I'm mixed on it. Peak. It's amazing. It's amazing build-up. It's so good. Like, it's either my 3rd or 4th favorite arc. I think at the moment it's my 4th favorite arc. But the build-up is just so full of quality and new, immense, beautiful new characters. So interesting, so intriguing, so many amazing new dynamics, so much potential for the Phantom Troop, for Kurapika, potential Jing Pariston. Leori's in the back, but more of this Succession War politics, where that's going to go plot-wise. There's just the scope expanding. I'm so excited. It's so great. And like Shadow said earlier, the palace invasion phase of the arc is very close by. It's about to kick off. Like, that's what was so frustrating initially. Like, I had since made peace with it, but that was such a shame about the hiatus happening when it did in terms of where the plot was, is because it was about to kick off. It was really about to kick off. Um, and yeah, so many people say, with regards to what Pedro Licho just said, so many people are saying, man, I just wish he would let his assistants do it or let his wife do it, because his wife is Sailor Moon's mangaka. Man, no, no, it's Togashi's story. Lauren, how's it going? Hunter x Hunter hype, absolutely. It's Togashi. Well, yesterday was Togashi Day, but it's continuing into today. Hope you're doing well, Lauren. Pariston, yep. But no, no, Togashi has to do. If Togashi doesn't want to do something, if Togashi's uncomfortable with something with regards to his manga, if he isn't comfortable with letting other people draw it, letting his wife draw it, letting assistants take over or whatever, if he's not comfortable, then it's not Hunter x Hunter. I'm not saying Togashi has to draw everything. He has assistants. I'm sure he outsources certain things. But what I'm saying is all within the range of his comfortability. If he doesn't want to do something, there's a reason why he doesn't want to do it, because that's baked into the identity of his story, of who he is. Don't. Why would you want him to compromise that? You know, I can't relate at all. What's my arc rating? I don't know. Get back to me when I reread it, Zenon. At minimum, it's a solid 9. So far. Sorry. Andres, sorry. Chat is going by so fast. Andres, what was your this or that? I missed it completely. And then K-Sid just did it. Let me see. What you got? Shaw, how's it going, Shaw? God, there's chat is wild. I'm so glad you guys are hype. Seryednik, I don't even know how to pronounce him. I'm so excited. What is he up to? What's he gonna do? And the inevitable rise to Triple S, I cannot wait. I can't wait for him to become like a top 20 minimum antagonist of mine or something. Exotic top 3. Hold on. Oh no, you guys are doing this or that. Oh no, I missed like 3. Hold on. Whale Island episodes or Succession War? Oh. That's so hard. I guess from a raw score perspective, Whale Island, but Succession War has a higher ceiling, and it's also just more, you know? But I guess if we're looking at just scores, Whale Island, they're 10s to me. Succession War might be a lighter 10 or a strong 9 or something. Thank you, Shaw. Great pronunciation. What are you guys doing? Stop redeeming these. Don't stop, but I need to catch up. Holy crap. Favorite arc. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I'm caught up to chat now. So if you guys want to K-Sid, Skip, and Blossom Fully, what do you want me to this or that? What do you want me to this or that? Hunter x Hunter art style or Haikyuu art style? I don't have a preference. I'm sorry, I can't answer that. I don't have a preference at all. Do you have something else? Hydrate, thank you. Hulkenberg or Sidiednik? Sidiednik. Easy. But Hulkenberg's really good too. But come on. It's the fourth prince. And guys, I keep seeing a lot of questions if I expect it to be adapted into an anime. I have no knowledge of anything whatsoever. I don't expect it. But it would be cool. It would be a nice bonus. Like Hulkenberg is S tier at the moment. Fourth Prince is double S tier. They're two of my favorites. Maybe my top two favorite newly introduced characters. Who knows? But I need to reread it. At which point, maybe I'll change my mind. I will say that Hulkenberg has immense potential through what happened and his change in demeanor towards the end there. Andres, get out of here with your negativity. Both B's? Nah. Get out of here. Get out. Boo! Turn them off. Could one of the mods redeem K-Sid's this or that? Like, that's why in the this or for anyone who isn't wondering, for anyone who's wondering, I saw some people asking about it. This or that. All you do is you redeem 2,000 points, and then you ask me, do you prefer this or that? Any two things do you prefer? And I answer. But in the fine print there is I might not be able to answer some of them. Because like with the Haikyuu manga art style versus Hunter x Hunter art style, I don't know. Canceled Taketsu. So probably my peak of the Succession War was the whole. I don't remember which chapter it was, but the whole really poetic. Also, so Blossomfully and Doji, I saw you're redeeming me reading One Piece. Don't worry, that's gonna happen. Probably Friday. We're gonna do a One Piece dedicated stream. Just reading One Piece, and then Blossomfully. Please let me know what you wanted that to go towards, or what the two I'm choosing for is, because I probably missed it. Dragonite as well. Mr. Lugga, thank you for the follow. What? Gyro? Would you choose a Gyro arc or a Pariston arc? Um, I don't really need an arc for either of them, but in terms of which we get exposed to more, like which, if I had to choose one for which we get more story content, Gyro. Gyro. Because, listen, I love Pearson. He's a favorite antagonist of mine. But, we've already got a lot of stuff for him. Gyro, I need more. If I had to pick one. Yeah, so yeah, the chapter with Melody hypnotizing everyone, that was just poetry to me. For me, that was the peak of the Succession War arc so far. We are going to get to Greed Island. I'm going to lay down the law within 10 minutes or so. I don't have a favorite Hunter x Hunter moment, sorry. I couldn't be able to pick. Umineko, Sebastian. Do you want to see Gon or Killua come back? Yes, but not right now. I mean, aside from just sprinkling in scenes here and there, here and there, just to show context or what they're up to, maybe a chapter or two. But, let them do their thing. Let them do their thing. We are here on the boat. We've got all this stuff going on. I don't think it should become too bloated. I think the amount of focus and the amount of things going on is perfect. I actually think making Gon and Killua essential parts of it might make it a bit too much, Might make it a bit too much. Hey Gary, how are you? Yeah. Sorry about that, Time Lord. You can ask anyway. Ask me and I'll answer. Something I love about a favorite story. So, what a great segue, Blossomfully. So, one of my favorite things about Greed Island is how through the world and the setting and the game, quote unquote, it is one of the coolest ways of indirect characterization, because it being created by Jing, it being so based on Jing's philosophy, indirectly characterizes Jing and adds to the mystery and enigma of his character in such an effective way. I was rewatching the arc with Hannah, and something I told her at the beginning is that Greed Island is, if you look at the little details and how it's structured, it tells you a lot about Jing indirectly, and that it's so cool. It's such a cool way of characterizing. So that's something I love about it. I also love Bisky. There you go. The Riddler, the Paul Dano's performance, Elijah. Mizaistum or Cheadle? Probably Cheadle. Time Lord. But okay, we're gonna be winding down the future speculation, and getting into Greed Island in a few minutes here, so get all your last thoughts out there. This is the time. What are you most excited about getting more of in the next 10 chapters? Nothing, really. Just Togashi continuing to share his mind and soul with us. I'm just excited for it to be completely unfiltered Togashi. He's presenting us the story as he intends to present it. I'm just along for the ride. I'm not looking forward to anything in particular. I guess what I mean to say is that I'm not expecting, or I don't have a wish list or anything. There are, of course, highlights like Kurapika, Fourth Prince, Hulkenberg, Krollo stuff, Hisoka stuff. But if I had to answer, the main thing I'm looking forward to the most is just that Togashi's able to share more of this, you know? Are you going to do manga streams? Oh, yeah, so that's actually very important. Are you going to do manga streams after you finished rewatching the anime? Yes. So after we're done the election stuff, we'll jump into post-anime manga stuff, and we'll discuss that. But then after that, I was wondering, another sub/donation goal would be, that is up there currently now, is chapter breakdowns. If you guys want me to do chapter breakdowns as they release, maybe whether they be in stream form or video form, I could think about doing both. I don't know if I'll be able to do both. That might be too much for me. But that's a current donation goal. The requirements are very low. So it'll be fulfilled easy if that's even a little bit wanted. So you guys can put subs, bits, whatever towards that if you'd like. I don't know if I want to do chapter reactions, but like I was saying, maybe discussions, maybe in the stream, maybe in a video. I don't know if I'd be able to do both. I'd probably be able to do one or the other. Obviously streams would be more casual and collaborative with chat, and maybe I would forget things or not be as structured or concise. Videos would be more polished, and I'd have a bullet point in front of me of things I want to talk about, but there would be no interactivity, live interactivity. So it's a trade-off. I'd have to think about that. But anyway, that's a new goal. I don't think I want to do reactions. I don't think I want to. I want to read Togashi's masterpiece live. Just on my own. I prefer to do it on my own. But discussions, breakdowns afterwards, sure. Yeah, sure. Collab streams, I haven't thought about doing collab streams. The collaborations there's a wide net of what that entails, so it depends. But yeah, so that's an important thing I just added to the goals as well. Might get all the chapters at the same time. I hope we don't get them all at the same time. I want them weekly. Thank you, Sarah, for gifting 5 subs. I have a hunch about what that might go towards. Thank you so much, Sarah. What you got for me? Also, chat's going a little slower now. So Freeze Thor, if you're still there in chat, I don't know if you wanted your sub to go towards something. If you did, I missed it. I'm sorry. Chapter breakdown, sure. Gotcha. And there we go, 10% already. Wow, my antivirus. Okay, cool. I don't really have plans for collaborations. Maybe if I got invited onto something, I might do it. But yeah. On my stream, I don't have plans for doing. I just plan on it being like these. I enjoy these so much. I don't really want to change the structure of them. Imora, how are you? Yeah, it was just so wonderful. It was just great. It lifted my mood immediately. What was the background music? Oh, this tree. I've never seen a more beautiful tree in my life. The Yggdrasil? Don't worry about the Yggdrasil. Oh, the Nier music. The air tree. Elden Ring? Mid. That's a great clip. That's... Oh, boy. So let me just transition into this here. Sorry, I had become as tree. Yeah, it was near battle music. It was like maybe the Forgotten City or something. AJ, how is this series so good? I don't know, Andres. It's Togashi, that's how. Justin, thank you for the follow. Oh man. I plan to talk about the new chapter for 10 minutes. It's been 35 and I feel like I haven't said anything. Battle music to slander all recent trees. Every other tree just an imitation. This is peak tree. This is peak tree form. You may not like it, but this is the peak tree form. Thank you for the 5. Wow, thank you so much. There are tons of subs already today. Thank you so much, guys. K-Sid, thank you for gifting 5 subs to the viewers. What would you like that to go towards, K-Sid? And thank you for the follow, Blackstarfly. We are gonna start Greed Island in a second, I promise. Thank you guys so much. BRHM1999, thank you for the follow. I hope you're enjoying it, Blaze Rage. You started near, Ifa Tree, mid. All the trees in my peak fiction. FF9, Berserk, Attack on Titan. The World Tree, the World Tree from Hunter x Hunter, mid. But this tree? Oh, if Togashi started a space, I'd go insane. You'll meet some neat trees in your journey of One Piece too. They're all mid compared to this one, though, I'm sorry to say. Is there a Haikyuu tree? I'm sure there are a bunch of Haikyuu trees. They're all mid. Sorry to say, Furudate. Chapter breakdown. Sure. Yeah, okay, gotcha. We're already at 20. We're already at 20. Tokyo Sky Tree. Sky Tree! I can't believe Togashi invented trees, but all the imitations are... they just don't measure up. I just waited for your stream to start talking about the new Hunter x Hunter chapters. Yeah, we've been talking about them for... well, since we started, basically. Lucky Lazo, I appreciate that. Thank you for the sub, Dan Niz Gaming. Thank you so much. What would you like that to go towards? The story starts with Gone in a Tree. Very true. Togashi! Isaiah, how's it going? It's... what a momentous, joyous occasion. Sorry, in terms of the goals, Dan Niz Gaming, if you subscribe, you can put that to funding one of the goals in that document there. If you don't want that to go towards anything, that's fine. But nonetheless, your support is super appreciated, nonetheless. Sorry, I guess I didn't explain what that meant. But yeah, you can put that towards one of the donation goals in there if you'd like. If not, and you just want to support, that's very much appreciated. Thank you very much. My friend was watching Hunter x Hunter Greed Island arc, and I watched it with him without any context, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try this anime. And since then, it's been my second favorite series. What's your first, God Lotus? SA is very good, Mighty. I think it's in the argument for my favorite, but not quite my favorite. So, second or third favorite in Gintama. No idea, Lucky Lazo. No clue. We were talking about this earlier. I have no clue. I'm just along for the ride. So my arcs in order, favorite to least favorite, and my least favorite still a 9, is Chimera Ant, York New, Election, Succession War, probably Heaven's Arena, Greed Island, and Hunter Exam are all in flux there. And then Zoldyck, just because it's the shortest, but it's still a 9. One Piece, gotcha. Thank you, Wavy. Thank you. I do like this shirt. Mbaka. You mean Light 10? Why not? Are you, yeah, I am, Andres. I guess I should maybe segregate them. But when I mentioned that, I just included it all together. Before we start Greed Island, one thing I want to mention from the end of York New is how cool the concept of Nen after death is. Since I believe Nen is a metaphor for art and personal expression, Nen after death represents how our emotions can have impacts long after our deaths. That's beautiful, Shadow. I buy into it 100%. I love that. Yeah, Nen, Nen being so intrinsically tied to characterization and who these characters are and their expression, it being after death, how it lives on after death, that's a beautiful sentiment. Thanks for mentioning that. That is lovely. FF8? That Roman numeral is like 8? Oh, FF14. That I'm already gonna do that. Dan Niz Gaming. I'm already gonna do that. That isn't one of the donation goals. If you scroll down, the ones that have percentage fulfilled are one of the ones you can put that towards. I already plan to do that. Once I get to the expansions, I plan to do at least a couple of streams of that, at the very least. So that's already in stone. The ones that are percent fulfilled are the ones you can put them towards. What's your opinion on Ranking of Kings? Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm going through it slower than when I started. Yeah, 40 minutes and we haven't started. And I can't do today's stream for super long. But this is not time wasted. This is not time wasted. Hey Joshua, how are you? I don't know, Frostbite, sorry. It's in Japanese. Okay, yeah, let's get into Greed Island now, shall we? Not time wasted, just enjoying the detours, absolutely. Oh yeah, Sarah, we're not gonna be able to finish Greed Island for sure. Like, we'll go through it faster. We'll go through it faster than than York New for sure. But I still think it'll take 2 streams. Thank you so much for the $5, Drunk Eldian, towards Kaguya-sama. You got it. I'll do the math after, but plus $5. Thanks a lot, Drunk Eldian. That'll be a short video, but glad you guys are interested, because I think it'll be a pretty good one, too. You'll put it towards Malekith. Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Dan Niz. Sorry, Thomas. I missed your message. It was so nice seeing all the reactions on Twitter yesterday. Truly the return of the king. Can't believe Togashi's return sent ripples of all time and inspired Tolkien in naming Lord of the Ring 3. Lord of the Rings number 3. What is this? Killua slander? I slandered Killua? Might get all the chapters at the same time? I hope we don't get them all at the same time. I want them weekly. Might get all the chapters at the same time. I hope we don't get them all at the same time. That's hilarious. That was great. That was great. Perfect timing. All right, Andres. Too bad we can't talk about Greed Island. But thank you for celebrating with me, and Spirit Noodle as well. Thank you. Yeah, I guess you are Blaze Rage. Thank you for the extra 3, Dan Niz Gaming. Thank you so much. Do those go towards Malekith as well? More Elden Ring? Okay, gotcha. Perfect. Thank you again. Really appreciate it. And I just did that. There we go. Okay, beautiful music. Beautiful music. Okay, guys, so Greed Island. So Greed Island tends to be an arc. Was I affected by it? Yeah, Exotic. We had trees falling throughout the area locally, throughout the neighborhood. Luckily, I wasn't affected personally, and I don't think anyone was hurt. But yeah, it was pretty bad. Greed Island sure is an arc. So Greed Island is, tends to be one that a lot of people downplay, because it's a lot. It is a large majority of it is essentially a training arc in a lot of ways. So I guess people don't like seeing that sort of progression. Thank you, Wolfman. Maybe people missed Kurapika and Leorio, and parts of the troop, I guess. And people think that Genthru's a mid-villain. People don't think the plot is that interesting, compared to York New or Chimera Ant after it. So it tends to be somewhat of a black sheep. But like Shadow says there, Greed Island helps so much with Chimera Ant to function as smoothly and as powerfully as it does. First of all, tonally, Togashi continues this thing where he alternates tone between arcs, successively getting darker, but nonetheless going light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, to keep things fresh and variable, to help remind us that this isn't a super morbid, grim, dark series or anything. There is a huge amount of heart and soul and positivity and optimism to it as well, and I think that helps with that. But even in terms of themes, in terms of mechanics, in terms of, I guess, power scaling, Greed Island, Chimera Ant would not have worked without Greed Island being there first. Greed Island top 2 EDs in Hunter x Hunter after Hyori Itai. Reason's right up there. Reason is probably top 2. Yeah, I think I would say so. I would say so. Rewatching it this time around made me even more appreciative of it, even though I already loved it to bits. Every rewatch I get reminded of how much I love the series. The build-up and pacing is on par with York New. Interesting. I don't think I'd say that. I don't think it's on par with York New, but this recent rewatch was the most I've ever enjoyed it as well. And I do think the pacing's really on point. I do think that the build-up's really great. I think that everything has a purpose, everything has a point, everything's entertaining as well. Like, how does Togashi make these arcs that are so functionally sound and mechanically sound, and yet so entertaining at the same time? You just mix in that human, just enjoyability with them so well. I don't know. But he does it with Heaven Arena, he does it again here. Screw every other tree. Thank you, JTD. A lot of character moments wouldn't work without Greed Island too. Yeah, and Greed Island has, not to jump ahead too much, but it has 2 immense Killua Gon moments. And also Greed Island is where we actually first properly getting full-on Killua internalization. We got a huge amount of it in Hunter Exam through episode 20. We get a huge amount of it in episode 50 as well in York New, but we really dig into his psychology more consistently in York New, and we have that. What I'm thinking of is that scene. In episode 2. No, you're wrong, Gon. I'm the lucky one. I'm paraphrasing, but And then the stuff in the dodgeball game where it had to be Killua. Yeah. So that's really important for their dynamic and balancing it out in terms of perspective, I think, a little bit more. Greed Island really emphasizes Gon's values and Killua's flexible role in the series. Yeah. I said Killua. Hisoka's flexible role. Because this is the first arc where he's basically quasi-pseudo on their side, quote-unquote. Which is great. It really is it gives you the full picture of his role in the series, of being this tonal, thematic, plot-based counterweight, and the way Togashi uses him. I think York New is what revealed it, but Greed Island is what carried it out. Sorry, I need to catch up a bit. Yeah, Reason's amazing. Cool, Sarah. I'm glad you enjoyed it so much. That's a cool way of putting it, Sebastian. Yeah, and then like I mentioned before, Greed Island itself is indirect characterization for Jing and his expression and everything. What does Togashi is back mean? Togashi's back. Togashi's back. He's releasing new chapters. Yep. And Bisky, I love Bisky. Bisky's so great. And then the Killua and Bisky dynamic, I live for every time Killua calls her an old hag. I live for it. And then she punches him. Never gets old. Reason's definitely the Gon Killua friendship song. But yeah, and then thematically, it does a lot with the idea of greed and personal ambition and sort of pragmatism with regards to your goals and obtaining these goals, and all these nuances surrounding that. And I think it covers it very well. And Batera is a very good character, a very good minor character. Let me just blow my nose real quick. Killua has challenging relationships with women. This is true. Getting emotional already. Do you think he'll complete the story? No idea. I'm just enjoying the ride. Not Aditya. No idea. I think we should just soak in that we're getting more. I think that's the beauty of it. Oh, and Nagareboshi Kirari. Oh, that one's so good too. And yeah, our boys are looking good. They're looking suave. Something I've realized recently is that the Nen was great in York New, but it was somewhat private and isolated, so by making Greed Island and telling the readers and watchers at the end of the arc that the game is actually in the real world, and everything was part of Nen inside it, the abilities and everything, it widens the world building and Nen itself masterfully. Yeah, great point. It expands the world to a great degree and enhances the capability of Nen. I mean, Nen was already laid out to us as having this near infinite potential and creativity through how the rules and guidelines and everything were explained and the potential was explained. But, you know, we have small brains compared to Togashi. He needs to kind of show us it in application to show how wide-reaching and all-encompassing it is. And Greed Island's really great for that. Yeah, absolutely, Wolfman Hulk. A video game taking place on a real island, it makes perfect sense. It is great for the charm of the series and feel of the series. I'm sure you loved and remembered every new thing introduced through Bisky in this arc, huh? I think something's gone over my head through the way you described that, Sarah. Every new thing introduced through Bisky. Hey, Kuijo, how are you? What else was introduced through Bisky? What am I missing? Oh, yeah. The new Nen principles? Yeah. You guys are gonna have to compensate for me for that. Figures the best isekai isn't actually an isekai because it's in the real world. The false isekai. Togashi truly innovating. I love how Nen acts as this raw building block, hard rules that are consistently maintained throughout and expanded upon, but with a soft, gooey center. I love that way of describing it. Hey Shigeo, how are you? Yeah, it's totally consistent, vehement, for sure. And I like how that improves throughout as we continue, though, because he learns, right? Okay, so let's actually go through let's actually start it. We've talked a decent amount about it, so let's start it. Am I wrong, Santi? A few female butlers, yeah. I mean, he gets along swimmingly with Kanari, but there is that wall there, as we've talked about before. And then, so yeah, we're introduced to Batera, this tycoon, monopolizing all the copies of Greed Island, hiring people to be able to beat the game for some reason. He's portrayed very stoically, very authoritatively, kind of towering over the modern world with his money and power and riches, which would then be subverted later. But initially, he seems very, rigid, strong, powerful. You just assume that he has some sort of unsavory goals for whatever this is. Oh, and yes, I didn't mention that. Good point, Shadow. In terms of the adaptation, Greed Island. Um, I mean, I'm a big fan of York New. Um, but I think Greed Island is where the adaptation takes a little bit of a step up, and where it begins getting truly bold and innovative, and they do a lot with the presentation here. I think this is the best adaptation so far up until this point with Greed Island, for the 2011 anime at least. 99. I enjoy Greed Island much more in 2011. But it's been a while since I saw 99's Greed Island, so I can't speak on it. Cool, Fanic. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was really effective, Sarah. Um, and thank you for the follow, Kuijo. And then so yeah, like Vanilla says here, why are you so interested in game? It's an expression of love. For me, I just kind of that kind of when in one ear and out the other, I'm like, all right, dude, there's something wrong with you. An expression of love, twisted, dark love, or some weird pathological form of love. It's not actual love, but I'm stupid. Uh, Maybe Gary. I haven't really thought about it that way. Bateta's very important. Yeah, the Greed Island OVA, not a fan. um. Oh, I assume they'd continue from 2011. Montauk. Yeah, he emanates those sorts of vibes. I don't know. I don't know how he does it. I can't really say I see the similarities too much, Lucky Lazo, but I'm just caught up with the anime and the movie. Okay, and then anyway, that's the introduction. New OP, very cool. One of my favorite parts of the arc, Hisoka doing the dodgeball with them. It's so great. But yeah, the new OP does look really awesome. I love, like, we can show it here. What Thomas is talking about here, the swivel around Jing. So cool. So cool. That's really great. Yeah, and it's the first time it's a full, completely start to finish new OP. And then yeah, so as Togashi tends to do, it's not like Greed Island starts, so completely new story, cold turkey, brand new. Obviously, there are little threads remaining that from York New that he concludes. So we have Karapika not doing well, looking very tired, very pale, quite awful. Leorio and Melody caring for him. Also, I think there might. Never mind. And sort of ties up the auction. Also, the illustration there. Yeah, Melody and Leorio just caring for him. It's really great. We have the concluding bits of Eliza because we have the Squalla stuff. Neon. And then this Gon and Killua's quest, and I love this the sincerity and solemn nature of the way Leorio was drawn here. It's very Karapika's that what I showed there. The illustration of Karapika there was earlier on was the Squall's death part. Which is done really well. Once again, someone dies because he involved them in his business. Yeah, and especially for Karapika, that hurts just a little bit extra. And yeah, so Dowsolane, however you pronounce his name, sorry about the pronunciation, Neon had this really interesting reaction to it where she's just like, oh no. Anyways, what about the merchandise? But, like, I don't know if she's necessarily affected by Squala's death, but she is definitely shaken up by Eliza's state in reaction to Squala's death, which shows she indirectly... I don't know, again, I don't know if it was for Squala. I think if she had the capability of directly grieving for someone, it would have been more likely for Dowselin than Squala. But she is nonetheless so taken aback and upset by Eliza's state, which I think is notable. I love the idea of Nen, a tool of complete autonomy. It's deemed as dangerous and not intended for everyone, especially if the process develops without care. And I think it parallels real life a lot, that way being so much interwoven in the story and its role as a reflection of life, so much more than any power system I can think of. That's a huge part of why I love it. The way it reflects, like you say, parallels real life, the way it's organically interwoven in the story, and more than anything, the way it tells that story through reflecting very real-life things. You know, whether it be that sort of identity crisis, whether it be that sort of self-perpetuated chain, you know? Samuel, thank you for the follow. Wow, damn, lots of paragraphs. Dude, I love it, though, I love it. Thanks for sharing, guys. Due to Neon's, I'll try to get to all of them. A hobby, a lot of people question her humanity, saying she's not really someone empathetic since she doesn't seem to care about Base and Tochino being killed, and even her reaction with Dowselin wasn't great, but with Eliza we see a clear human side. Yeah, absolutely. She may not really care too much about the people who died, I guess. You can infer that, but she is, like Melody says here, severely shocked. She's shaken. And that says a lot. Eliza, I don't know how I've been pronouncing it, but you get what I mean. I think Neon follows what she learned from that woman on TV who do not believe in the afterlife. The fortunes are meant to help those who are alive. This might explain why she isn't concerned about Dowselin, a man who is dead, but Eliza, a person who is alive and afflicted by what happens. That's true. That's another way to look at it. That's very cool. It also beautifully contrasts Crollo, who believes in ghosts and does a requiem as a tribute to Uvo. Yeah, I've always liked that contrast with her and Crollo, and how he values the dead so much, whereas she just doesn't think about it much. That's an interesting layer to Neon's character too. I'm really glad you brought that up, JTD, because perhaps it isn't even a lack of empathy as much as the way she views the dead, and how that ties back to her deal with fortune telling. I can't help the dead. The dead are gone, and maybe she's just able to move on or adjust more healthily or quicker than people can. But maybe it isn't necessarily a lack of empathy. Maybe that's just how she is. It's interesting. There are a couple of different interpretations you can put on Neon, and she's such a great minor character. I love that we can talk about her like this. She's so substantial. Hey, Blue Dragonfly. How's it going, Samuel? Me too. We were talking about it for like 40 minutes, just about like a tree. The people who died previously and even Squala were all tied to her jaw, more or less. They worked for her father and saw her in a similar way her father did, but Eliza was more of a genuine connection. And also what JTD... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree, Gary. It's a really cool dynamic. Yeah, it's really cool. Welcome to my life, Shaw. People bring up these connections that I've never thought of, but just continue to enhance my appreciation for it. Yeah, Neon said, episode 51, that she doesn't really care much about the afterlife, about people who die, because she tries to help the living. Neon is genuinely a very substantial, very solid and layered character. I said that at first, and some people looked at me like I was a bit stupid, or not stupid, but crazy. But genuinely, like, we've been having substantial discussions about Neon for 3 streams now. Okay, so we gotta move on. We gotta continue on. So anyway, not a ton to say about this. Just nice little world building tidbits here and there. We have the auction, Batera doing his thing. And then yeah, we see sort of the culture built around the completion of Greed Island and how people sort of gun for this in this way that's been perpetuated by Batera, which is very important for the plot of Greed Island and the world and everything that's been established. And here, important, this dangerous game requires that you risk your life, so keep that in mind. And that is something very similar to the Hunter exam. When you take part in the Hunter exam, you are essentially accepting the possibility that you could die. That is the same with everyone who goes into Greed Island. Hey, Turtle Man. How far into the arc are we? We are 5 minutes into the arc. Shab tweets best tweets. I agree. So that's important. For the stakes and the way Gon's outlook, the way you compare Gon's outlook in in the Hunter exam compared to here, is a bit interesting. But we'll get into that later. Thank you for the follow, Realms 4. Yeah, the audience is full of old men likely shitting themselves at the prospect of this. Hunter Tree Peak, exactly. How's it going, your friendly Buddha? Oh, I love this. So Miluki's here. He's bidding up to 6 billion. And then I love this. First of all, Killua's reaction is everything. But then we get, what I love here is that, this is so funny. So, it's so cute and funny. Yeah, Gon doubling here. Zapile's explaining to him, so how do you bid? You do these things with your hands? Yeah, you do this. And then, I gotta skip this song. I gotta skip these. Monogatari gets copyright claimed all the time. But let me just play this. Let me just play this out loud, because this is hilarious. So you indicate how much you're bidding with your hand? Yeah, that's how you do it. No, Remy's. And then this. How is the best war, the best like, the best isekai, the best mafia thriller anime, the best introductory arc, the best statement on humanity, the best political arc in shonen? Well, I'm exaggerating, but how is the story that is so good at all these things also one of the funniest? Excuse the voice crack. How is it also consistently one of the funniest? Oh my god. No, I'm not going to do that, Wolfman, because I can play them on Twitch just fine. It's just this is going to go onto YouTube, so when that goes onto YouTube, it'll get claimed. It's a headache. But for just regular Twitch streams, it's fine. Thank you for the follow, Bluish Violet. And then, yeah, so Rammies, Rammies asked if the One Piece VODs go on the second channel. Yeah, they'll be lost after 2 months. I mean, after I read One Piece, the VODs remain on Twitch for 2 months, for 60 days. That's ample time to watch them. But after that, they're gone. Yep. I love how the Miluki subplot doesn't really go anywhere it doesn't have to. It just reminds us that this is a living, breathing world with moving parts. Yeah, I mean, he got that motivation. He left his house for the first time in 10 years. He did his thing, and that was it. It wasn't pointless. It's added some substance and to some stuff with his character and some funny moments. But that was it. No need for it to overstay its welcome. In episode 21, the characters mentioned that trying to recover Killua is like another stage of the Hunter exam. Needing to risk your life for your goals is a constant of the human experience in the Hunter exam or Greed Island or elsewhere. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, the humor is... There's an understated low-key element to the humor. I always go back to that scene in Greed Island. Shaw, do you remember this one? Sorry, in York New, where I talked about it, but I don't think you were in chat for that. Where Gon and Killua are getting the hologram of the guy who's telling them about Greed Island, and he's the bartender. He's going, yeah, okay. And then you do this, and then here's your drink. And then Gon reaches for it, and it's a hologram, and you just see a sweat drop off the back of his head. You're just like, oh shit. It's so low key, but it's so funny. Also, the Finks phone call with Kurapika. Hunter x Hunter is so funny. How's it one of the best comedies? Top one's a pile screenshot. Yeah. You're not too late, Turkish Calming. We'll still be up for another couple of hours at least. Or at least an hour and a half or so. How many parts do you think Greed Island discussion will be? It'll be 2. It has to be 2. Yeah, Kilo's second time at the exam. We'll get to that. But yeah, that's so funny too. You idiot! And then Miluki does his thing. Batera does his thing. Not much to say here. But yeah, Gon and Killua make their ambitions stated. And what I like is Batera's open-minded to this, which kind of hints at his ambitions, and like he's not willing to turn away people who could potentially help him out. He's not really willing to turn a blind eye to that, and I think that's a precursor to some of the things that we learn about him later. You are indeed a part of chat, Rossflow. Absolutely, Lucky Lazo. I've talked about this a lot before. That natural element of it and all-encompassing element of it is so beautiful. And it really kind of ruins other shonen for you to an extent, or other stories to an extent. But hey, that's how it goes. Sun Gohan, how are you? Yeah, we'll get to that for sure, Gary, but I agree. And yeah, so what he says here, they're worthy of consideration. So Batera is not willing to just completely shun the idea of these people helping him out, which I like. I'm just speaking stream of consciousness, Sebastian. Don't take what I say too seriously when I say that it's a shame or whatever. I don't mean it. I don't mean everything literally, you know? Yeah, and then this just continues, and we're introduced to another major player in the arc, whose name escapes me. What is it? I knew it, I swear. Sarah, what's his name again? He's important. Big bad AJ, bad Hunter x Hunter fan moment. Sezgera, yes. How did I forget that? But I like Sezgera. We'll talk about him more later, but he's an pretty important character for the arc, and I like him quite a lot. Hunter x Hunter mimicking real life. Miluki the real gamer couldn't get a PS5 because of Batera the scalper. I can't believe Togashi predicted his foresight, predicting the PS5 conundrum. Oh yeah, and then he says, work on your Nen, come back, and then we'll see if you have the potential for it. And then Gon gets really pissed off. But determined, not deterred. And then we have Finks screaming, all right. So the Phantom Troop I love how there are constant fixtures throughout this arc. They have their own motives, they have their own reason for being there. It's also just a kind of distraction for them, but I love how they're intertwined here as well, and showing them in a more casual light. I do not have a PS5, I will eventually. Phaeton's little smirk, yeah. Yes, Sezgera's Hatsu is jumping high. He's like, yes, watch me. Ha! And they go, it's awesome! And they just outstrip him immediately. But the Phantom Troop are great in this arc. Phaeton does look... It is a bit strange to see him without his, half his face covered. And then, yeah, they just do their thing. We're bandits. We steal. And I love this. Finks the gamer. You wanna play? No thanks. If I feel like it. All right. Catch you later. Like, it's funny because well, in the next episode, we see that Machi is still kind of grieving for Pakunoda. So it's interesting to see the ones that are able to move on quickly. Or what's funny is that we have Finks and Phaeton immediately going into the game, right? What I assume that to be is Finks was clearly affected quite deeply by Pakunoda's death. What I assume that to be is, this is just a little headcanon, Finks is able to quickly move on because I think Finks needs a distraction. Phaeton, I think, is able to quickly move on because I don't think he grieved as much about it, personally. That's just how I've always thought of it. I don't know. What's a better distraction than a game? Exactly, yeah. If the Phantom Troop kind of stayed away from mass killing, they'd be perfectly justified in their banditry. Yeah, that's a big that's a big asterisk. As long as they stay away from the killing, the mass killing. But yeah, it does make it. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that was the intent, but I think that's if you want to put yourself in that perspective and be dialectic about it, that's how I think it works. And then Shalnark's a gamer, so. And I love this. Gon is just so frustrated because they insulted his Nen. But it also keys into that idea of Gon, you know, setbacks and being told he's not powerful enough or whatever. All of this is in service of finding Jing, of proving himself worthy to find Jing, to be a hunter, to see the horizons that he's seen. And so, we've talked about this before, but everything is contributory to that overlying, you know, sometimes not super palpable, but overlying goal there. And so, being told that you're not good enough can be super frustrating for him because of that reason. And so, it all feeds into itself. It's easy to forget sometimes because of the detours that Gon is doing. Jing is the ultimate purpose, right? Reaching Jing is the ultimate purpose. And so that's where a lot of this frustration stems from. And it puts a bit of a sad tinge on some scenes when you remember that. I love how Shalnark's first thought about Greed Island was, how do I make this about us obtaining more treasure? Yeah, all in service of the spider, right? Gamer representation, my king. And then, so yeah, they're learning about developing their Nen. We get the iconic reaction image and the now emote that I have, where let me just spam it really quick. Thank you for the follow, I am HabiG. Gone is me trying to think of a unique power for myself. Me too. People ask me all the time, what type of Nen power would you use? No clue. No clue. Thank you for the follow, Adam. Really strong power. I love how Killua says that. What kind of abilities do you want? Really strong power. There we go. And then Killua's thinking about it. Killua has to frame things and how to actually get from point A to B. Gon is just thinking, I need to get there. I love how Killua has the methodology. Cancel Killua time? How dare he hit Gon? Oops. And then Killua works on it, and then we have this, again, this electricity. And so, the fact that Killua has this affinity to electricity, the fact that he's able to so easily make it his own, this power of Killua's is one of my favorite because, firstly, it makes sense. You know, it's very natural character building, very natural for the series. Of course, he'd be able to harness it. Of course, it would be a no-brainer to be able to harness it in this way. Because he's been exposed to electricity as a kid, he has an affinity for it. It's just a smart thing to do, to be able to use that. But I like I like what it does for the idea of his trauma. You know, this is a representation of his trauma, electricity. He was tortured with it to gain this resistance to it. And then Killua's ability better be in my top 10. It is. It will be. But then he's able to harness it harness this negative, completely negative thing that was always a source of pain and a source of the, for the profession, for the business, and turn it into something productive that he can use for his own goals. It's about harnessing this thing that has happened to you. In a lot of cases, you can't change what's happened to you, but you can change the way that you use it, the way that you wield it. And yeah, it's very empowering. It's very empowering in that way. I love that. Let me just make sure. Let me just look at the rough draft I have for the Nen abilities to make sure I have it. I have his ability on the proper ranking. 'Cause it should be. Yep, it is. It is. Not to worry. Thank you, Greenma. How's it going? And then we have this, and just look how tired and worn out, and he's still wearing the chains, but nonetheless, he's got that smile. Yeah, he doesn't look fine. Yeah, and they kind of protect him in this way. Never forget what you are, the rest of the world will not. Wear it like armor, and it can never be used to hurt you. Only peak fiction. Cool, Grima. I hope you're enjoying it. Like, look at that. What a sad image. Kurapika's face, Gon's face. It's just an overall very sad exchange here. For a bunch of reasons, but yeah. And I like how Gon thinks, if he knew that the spiders were still in Yorknu, would there be any way to stop him, even when he's at the brink of exhaustion? Exactly, Jasko, yeah. Looking like me after finals? Oh dear. And then, yeah, he sort of describes the way in which he was able to conjure his chains. How they materialized. Interesting stuff, but don't have much to say about it. And Gon is thinking, keep him occupied while the auction takes place. What I love about this is Gon needs to progress and improve his Nen ability for the goal of getting into Greed Island. So he would like Kurapika to help him out, but the foremost thing on his mind right here is, I need to keep him occupied for his own sake, for his own well-being. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. He knows he can't stop Kurapika from himself. Yeah. When it comes down to it, he has doubts that he can, but he'll do his best to nonetheless prevent him from doing it. And Gon continues to be deceivingly intuitive. He does lots of really emotionally intelligent things for his friends here and there, for their well-being. And this is another one. But yeah, his boss leaves. He's obligated to accompany Neon. And then Kurapika says here, he's concerned about them, but it's been 2 days, so just might as well continue with your Nen. And Gon is very excited for that. Sorry, might as well just continue with your job. And then we have Wing back. I love it. Again, another character who comes back just whenever it's natural. There's no need to shoehorn characters back into the story just for the sake of it. But, holy shit. But Wing coming back at this point, totally natural, and it's lovely to see him. Thank you for... Wow. You guys are going ham with the subs today. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs, Davinator. As you can see, if you check out the sub goals, there's been a $5 thing included, an extra $5 for the Kaguya-sama video. But thank you so much. I assume that goes to Kaguya-sama, Davinator. If not, please correct me. But thank you, 10 gifted subs. So generous. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the follow, Nina. Thanks, everyone. Davinator. Just bank for now? Okay. Gotcha. You have 20 in the bank, Davinator, by the way. You are loading up. Thank you again. I'm a shill for you? You are. 450. Good gracious. Thank you so much, Dave. I wonder if Kurapika actually thought they were gone, or if he was just too tired and didn't have the energy to think otherwise. Yeah, because in some ways, one could say Kurapika, his need for revenge, this thing that fuels him, would be able to overpower any exhaustion that he has. But on the other hand, he has never been this exhausted. So I think it could be either or. If the Better Call Saul video gets funded, Eladan. Right now it's at 33%. And thank you for the sub, for gifting a sub to Blaze Rage, Sarah. Thank you so much. Which one does that go to? But yeah, we have Zushi, we have Wing. Good boys. Good boys. And then what I love here is he says, do not emulate that Kurapika person. Wield your own. Make it your own. That's what Nen's all about. Hey, Cuddly Dev, how are you? First time chatter, welcome in. Welcome in. Chapter breakdown? You got it. Yeah, don't emulate anyone else when you're already so strong. Just make it your own. Reflect on what you can do, and that should help you find the answer you seek. A bit of a parallel with certain things about Haikyuu. Forget the weapons that you can't wield. Use the weapons that you can wield and hone them to a point, right? Haikyuu. Yeah, it's in my my business email is in my about section of my YouTube channel. I love Wing saying that Gon is already very strong here, even though he's technically right considering how strong Gon is for his age. Compared to other characters, he's still quite weak. Yeah, he gets outstripped. I mean, later, Beanolt easily overpowers him. We have Ramot if we go even further. So yeah. Thank you for that, Sarah. Thank you for the follow, Nosy Bonk. So yeah, Gon consistently, we're never given license to forget that Gon, despite being very strong, which is true, as Wing says, is still on his way, you know? That's a good way of putting that, Lomdi. I like that. For sure, Wolfman. That's very cool. So yeah, we just progress about the way to show him everything simultaneously. Gon does his Nen stuff. He gets confused. And I love this. More humor. How do I do this? Oh, his brain fried again. It's become a regular occurrence for Killua. And then I love this little rival element. If you take too long, I'll leave you behind. How's it going, TemSB? And then, yeah, Gon continues it. He's doing his best. And the boys continue. That's episode 1. An hour and a half into the stream. But we were talking about a lot of stuff. Oh, and then, so episode 60, end and beginning here. This is one of my favorite scenes in the series, actually. To be honest. Yeah, Melody. So we have Kurapika and Leorio parting. We have Leorio clearly looking still concerned for him. The softness in his eyes there. And then I love this from Leorio. Please look after Kurapika. He acts calm, but he can be rash. This is a great scene for Melody and Leorio. It's beautiful. Leorio is truth, absolutely. It looks like he's opened up to you, so please act as his break. And what I love is that Melody has been doing that. Throughout York New, Melody has been his break. Melody has centered him multiple times, has drawn him back. At least 3, off the top of my head, 3 major times I can think of. Melody has already done that. So she's like, yeah, I mean, that's... And what I love is she's so open about it. She takes it with this smile. She doesn't look at it as a burden or a duty. It's Kurapika's her friend, and so she wants to support him in this way. Anyways, and then this here. You're very soothing. You have the most pleasant heartbeat I've heard in this city. The most pleasant in the entire city. Oh. And her voice, the tone of her voice here as well. Melody always sounds very soothing and therapeutic, but just the way this is voiced. And then the way she gesticulates. Soft, expansive, and very warm. So beautiful. I love him so much too. And then look at his response to this. I love his face. I recommend a career change. And he's blushing, because that must be so beautiful to hear. I'm welling up a bit as well just watching this. It's no wonder he has the softest, warmest, most pleasant heartbeat in the world, absolutely caring for others. A warmer heartbeat than Gon? Yeah, for sure. Warmer than Killua even still. Melody has been in close proximity with both Gon and Killua, and she states straight up, you have the most pleasant heartbeat in the city. Yeah, we'll get there, Sarah. Remind me if I pass it. The consistency of him choosing not to be open about his dream. Yeah, a consistent element of Leorio's character is that he isn't upfront about it. He doesn't parade. You know the type of people who do charity and flaunt it to everyone. Obviously, charity's great. I'm not saying that's a bad thing to do, but people do tend to kind of sometimes fictional characters, real people, be sure to tell everyone that they're doing nice things. It's so internalized. He's so bashful about it. It's just something that's so directly tied to his identity, intrinsically tied to his identity, that he doesn't even tell other people. They can just sense it. And then the boy. And then I love his line here. I need to get serious about this. This was his detour. As much as it was for his friends, his goal is still the same. It hasn't changed. Draw attention to it, basically? Yeah, exactly. One of the best scenes, one of my favorite scenes in the whole series. And Batera continues to do his thing. Miluki continues to be very angry boy. They keep training here. And then, yeah, Leoria sticks around here talking to Gon and Killua. And then Zepile goes off. And helps them. And I love how Zepile leaves this lasting impact, enough money for them to, buy the license? Yeah, buy back the Hunter license. Beautiful. Epic gamer, absolutely. Miluki has not stopped playing Elden Ring since it came out. So yeah, everyone gets a proper send-off. And then, I love this here. I should become a pro license so I can sell the license. And I love the variability and motivation, right? He just wants to become a hunter so he can sell his license. And live off the interest alone, forget about debt. Hey, why not? I mean, listen, in this capitalistic world, as has been established by Togashi, a more than worthwhile goal for that. If you can live off the interest alone, forget about debt, hell yeah. And an interesting contrast with Leorio here, because Leorio does it for money, but as a means to an end. Zepile getting the money is the end, and hey, all the power to him, right? And I'll start prepping for the Hunter exam, yay! About that. Sorry, dude. Miluki's still very upset. The culture around Greed Island continues. And then they all line up, they all get ready for the test. Thank you for the follow, Lomdi. Zepile can try next year. I'm sorry, Rashid, I don't understand. I only speak English, I'm sorry. Greed Island is like trying to get a copy of Pokemon Platinum in 2022. Luckily, I've got one. Maybe I can find my very own Batera. Oh, and then, yeah, and then look, we have people lining up to get in. Very inconspicuous, this person here. Where... Hold on. I don't understand you, Rush. I'm sorry. This is an English stream. I'm very sorry. I don't understand. I'm just waiting for one specific shot. Yeah, so I wonder if any of these people is going to be a main character. I wonder. Anyway. And so I talked about the Killua internalization. This is very interesting because he is second-guessing all sorts of things throughout this entire thing. What does this mean? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. He's internalizing so many different things. We have a little interjection by Greed Island Tompa. These are not very nice things being said. Okay. If it continues, please let me know, Shadow. And if it continues, you can just ban him. If it continues. One of the mods. Okay. And then Greed Island Tompa. Sarah, you might know his name. And then, so yeah. So I love how Killua the entire time is thinking, oh, what is this? Second-guessing all sorts of things, blah, 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 blah. And then, yeah, Killua overanalyzing the situation again. And then Gon just goes, oh, yeah, it was a hunch. I assumed it was that way. Poo-hot. Poo-hot. There we go. Exactly, yeah. Killua overanalyzing the situation again. It's in summation a really nice I guess encapsulation of the contrast between the two, and the way they approach things, and the way that, you know, sometimes Killua's approach works, sometimes it's advisable, and sometimes Gon just ends up being the more effective, for whatever reason, and I like that. I thought that was meant to be a spitting SFX. It's alright, Wolfman. It's not a big deal. Okay. And then I love this. So we were talking about Greed Island being a bit of a step up in presentation. I love little scenes like this. The overlay here. Act only when success is guaranteed. Again, right away we get into the internalization of Killua with Silva overlaying him and his outline here. Great. I love this shot. I love this shot. And then, yeah, Killua shows him, Buddy is impressed, and then, but I think he says, yeah, you require years of torturous training, exposing your body, yeah, so he can tell. Who are you? Yeah, and then Killua says it straight up right there. Do you think Hunter x Hunter is the best anime? If not, what do you think? Yes, I do, Kaylan. But you can also check my anime list for my full list, or my top 100 list for my full, a bunch of anime are ranked in there. You might be interested in that. Killua's overanalysis versus Gon's assumptions being representative of the doubt versus certainty and trust they have for the world around them. Yep, absolutely. Togashi continues to emphasize that difference in the way they view the world. Oh, and we're getting to the Leorio part. So Leorio is kind of advising them, helping them out about the approach to take with regards to the game. And then here, right here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Why'd you have to call him Greed Island Tompa? I can no longer unsee that. Sorry, if I see it, you have to as well. Oh, look at him. I'm not looking for items. I just want to get closer to Jing. Emote? That's a good idea. This is actually a really good idea for an emote. Hold on. Let me just screenshot it really quick. Hopefully I remember. That would be a great emote. Oh man. Oh, beautiful. And then I love how this is directed. Next time we see you, you'll be a doctor. Let me play the audio a bit. Wouldn't that mean we don't see each other for 4 years? Nah, I don't want that. I just love the lighting here, the sunset. And then look at these boys. Look at them. No wonder he was looking at them like that. This is the scene that Leorio thinks back to when Jing says he won't see Gon and then he punches. Yeah. And then here. Bye-bye, Leorio. Also precious. Man, they really ham up the slice of life preciousness early on here. Ugh. And then, yep, bit of logistics about Greed Island. Not going to talk too much about that. Yeah, and Gon is first to go in. And he uses... He says here, I'm going to trust Jing. I'm going to trust his save file. Of course, as if he would do anything else. See ya, Dan is Gaming. Thanks for hanging out. Get some good sleep. Thank you for celebrating some Togashi stuff with me. And then the Greed Island stuff as well. Have a good night. I can see what you mean by the visual direction taking a step up. Every shot has so much care. Yeah, I mean, and this is just the beginning. I'll point out more and more as we go along. But yeah, everything's very intentional, very deliberate to portray this. And I think, I do think this is where the adaptation takes a bit of a step up. Even just the way all this looks, I don't know. It's just really, they really go the full 9 yards, you know? Eta, yes. Little did we know that, like, when I first saw her, I thought she was literally a program. I thought she was an NPC. Like a rules exposition NPC. Will these small analysis VODs be uploaded on YouTube? I will try my best, but it's not a guarantee, which is why Twitch is the best place to go for them. Whether it be the VODs or the live experience. For guarantees, Nathaniel, Twitch is the way to go. But I try. It's not a guarantee. She does play the part well. She very much seems like an NPC. Yep, and she talks about the rules. Won't get into those. Appropriate Gon expression. And yeah, but like, with regards to the rules, this just really keys you into how much... There's a really lovely balance here that's struck, because Togashi puts so much thought into how the game and the world reacts, and the way that people interact with them, and the rules there, and how they can be exploited in the way that, you know, MMO players find certain gameplay loops that they can exploit to streamline certain things. Togashi incorporates that in the next episode. I'll just talk about it here. Like, there are ways to cheat the system and do things and use cards in certain ways that allow you to do shortcuts. Togashi thought of those shortcuts. He put these rules there. He established them. Then he puts himself in the mindset of someone who would be playing this game and how they could exploit these things. And then he puts them into the damn story. Like, how well thought out does this place have to friggin' be for you to go that deep? It's insanity. You also make Gungi? Absolutely. And yet when I was talking about balance, I meant, and yet this is so well fleshed out, but it's so, at the same time, approachable. Like, everything is explained. You're never confused about what's going on, because there's enough context through the characters and the position in the story to, as long as you kind of pay attention to the rules, you won't be lost at all. It's, you know, deep as an ocean, the more you dive into it, but it's generalizable enough so that you're not going to be lost if you don't want to dive into it that much. Sorry, Thomas. Absolutely. Flexing with his game design skills? Absolutely. And yeah, someone just earlier said he must have thought about that for years. Gary just said he must have thought about that for years. It's insane. It's insane, Emblood. I can't stress enough how much depth there is there to first design all the rules of the game using your knowledge of JRPGs and MMOs and everything, and pop culture and everything, and then to put yourself in the mindset of people who would be in that game. Think of the ways that gameplay patterns would emerge within the game, customs, and then ways to exploit that. You have to think about it so deeply. Greed Island alternative title. That time I got isekai with my friend to play dodgeball with my dad's friend. And to lose my arm. Yeah. Every arc has, or most arcs, a select few, a select number. I would say Heaven's Arena, York New. So most of the arcs have that immense amount of detail put into some aspect of them, in one direction or another. Here it's the game design. It is very digestible, vanilla. I love that. Because you guys know me in logistics and rules. If it was too much, it would have passed me by. That's why I believe that the best writers within any genre are usually big fans of many things. That's a big precursor. That can always be a big precursor. Being a fan of it, which allows you to immerse yourself within it and then put that amount of detail and care into the actual world that you create, and thus make it more immersive and rich. People wonder why the man needs to take breaks. Amen. One criticism I've heard of Greed Island that pissed me off was some people saying that all these mechanics don't matter to the plot and aren't used, which not only is entirely missing the point, but Togashi actually made sure to make most of these mechanics play a role in the final fights, so people are just not paying attention. So that last sentence, nothing new, Shadow, but yeah, absolutely. They all have a place, they all have a point, in the sort of climax, and even still, what is the harm in taking a minute, even if they didn't have a purpose, a plot-focused purpose? By being in there in this way, they do what Togashi has done all this time, through immersing us, through showing us different world details to flesh out and enrich the world. Because, think about Zapile, the things that Zapile taught them about. Aside from one other thing in episode 50, they didn't really dwell on that much outside of that. They introduced these black market dealing things that through Zapile, and then it just kind of dropped. But Togashi is trying to share this world with us, and that involves sharing details that may not be plot relevant later on, but are just interesting. And not everything has to lead to some end point. Not everything has to converge or have some sort of apex. And that's reflective of why Hunter x Hunter is in a lot of ways a stream of consciousness drop into a world that so accurately depicts life. Wow, savage, Gary. Even things that seemingly don't have a point in that very way. Exactly. The way certain people have a phobia of exposition in fiction has always been weird to me. Like, even if it's not the most engaging thing ever, it shouldn't be that big an issue. Yeah. I think a lot of times that drawing yourself to complaining about that exposition just a lot of times tends to be an excuse for disliking something. Putting more weight on it being a problem than it actually is because they just don't like the story. I think a lot of times it's used as an excuse for that. They truly do not believe in the heart of the Greed Island card. Sad. How dare they? How dare they? By the way, Shaw, I just saw your DM. I didn't notice anything. I might have missed it, but even if you did, no worries. I mean, I have mods who are on top of that as well. I'm gonna leave my usual long comment here and leave. Do you have to leave? I'm happy that Togashi's back, I can't believe it. Glad he's okay and this wonderful story will continue, but talking about the actual arc, many claim that Greed Island is the worst arc, and yeah, it might not be the best, but I definitely think it's underappreciated. It's like Jing says, Greed Island is about having fun. Beautiful. Well, thanks for stopping in, Amora, and leaving your long comment. Yeah, we'll get into the nuances of that fun in episode 61. And I love this. I have a message from Jing Freaks. I'm glad to see you've made it. But if you're expected a clue to my location, you're out of luck. Naturally, of course. I just wanted to show off this game to you. Have fun. It doesn't matter what brought you here. Because you won't be able to leave without a specific item. And then the Grand Expanse. And we have the reason. We have reason bleeding in. Beautiful. We see Gon and Killua facing new challenges, developing their strength and meeting new people like Bisky, best girl. And the journey is very fun to follow. I can understand losing interest when the story relies on game mechanics a lot or over-explains things if those are not your jam. But if you can get past all that, you're going to be treated with incredible moments like the dodgeball game or Gon's final fight with Genthru. I agree with all of that except over-explaining certain techniques. I can't say I ever thought that. I think they're explained just enough to make sure that it's approachable for people who didn't pay that much attention to the mechanics, while not being overbearing for people who did. I think it's a nice balance. But yeah, everything else I totally agree with. Eita must have been repressing tears in her eyes at this moment. Yeah. Wahoo! Sorry, I'm very sorry. But by that line of thinking, even the very concept of story arcs is stupid, since most plot points and characters introduced in most anime are only created for that arc and never really touched upon outside of the story. Sure. I mean, I think people are saying when there are levels to it, right? A story arc is 10, 20 episodes or something. So it matters more in the grand scheme of things to people. But I mean, if you extrapolate that logic, sure. Hunter x Hunter perfected the art of bleeding the ED? Absolutely. It's the first anime I think of in terms of bleeding the ED in. When are we getting a karaoke stream? 2 million channel points? The very act of experiencing fiction is pointless because the specifics of a story aren't relevant in real life. The line of logic of information, not connection to everything, and thus it's pointless, is unfortunate. Yeah. Why do we even read, watch, experience stories, right? Yeah, I did sing Hyori Itai. Hyori Itai. I did do that in a video. Episode 3 of the arc, and then we have Gorenu. Pronunciation probably off, but I'm pretty sure that's his name. The visuals in this episode are really good. So I'm going to talk about a criticism I heard. I've talked about this before on stream, but I think I want to bring it up again because this is the actual episode it applies to. Yeah. So, and then I love these grunts. They have their own mini arc in the background, if you can call it an arc. Gorenu does have background character design. Why do I even watch AJ? Why? Why would you watch me? Goodness gracious. Cool. Glad you, overall think he serves a purpose, and glad you find Greed Island to be a good time, Emora. Let's not get into that, Gary. Also, the shine in Gon's eyes, love that. It's like illuminating. But yeah, and just look at the lighting. I don't know, something about the way that this is lit, it just feels different. You know, the way that it bleeds in and sort of refracts a little bit over them. Anyway. And then they're talking about the card mechanics, the game mechanics. They don't know anything about the rules. They're noobs. And then this guy, this must be your first time playing this game. So the classic dip your toes in antagonist to sort of introduce you to the mechanics of Greed Island. Thank you for the hydrate, Manda. And so he's essentially just a shock to the system of them to get accustomed to the nuances of Greed Island culture, how people approach it, which is introduced in sort of introduced in many ways throughout this episode, where someone later on tells them, "Oh, book," and then they just back up. And he goes, the fact that you didn't say book as well and bring out your book shows that you're a novice. So just bring it out, just even if you had to bluff. That's another thing I mean with regards to Togashi establishing this culture within the game through how players would come to react to things. They're a beginner if they don't know what book means. So just bring it up to bluff anyway. Hazing, yeah. Latarza is his name? I care, Sarah. And then I love this. So he's doing this, spell cards, and then this. So it works on Killua. Thank you for the follow, Chris H. So it works on Killua. And then, what the hell did you just do to me? I love that. Assassin mode. He flicked a switch. Flick the switch, kind of. I haven't talked about it, Shadow. It actually has to do with the best scene in this episode. I've talked about it before. I think you might have been in chat for it. I'm not going to talk about it in great depth, but I'll talk about it. I love this. And again, even more great presentation. We'll be continually gushing about some of the presentation throughout Greed Island visually, audio-visually. And then this. I love this because, again, checking in with the Phantom Troop. Again, gradual. It's not just they still dwell on the things that happened in the last arc. Very gradual, very natural. Noobs don't know about the book, aka Hunter x Hunter watchers not doing the required reading. It reflects real life. Very meta. Very meta. Fiji, Togashi indeed. You missed the gushing. And the... I did just say audio-visually. Why? Why do you ask, Dragonite? You missed the gushing about the tree, Fiji, where we were just talking for 40 minutes about nothing except being hyped that it's back. But yeah, thanks for joining in. See you, Dave. Thank you again for these subs. And again, just DM me if you ever know what you want those to go towards. You got 20 in the bank. Enjoy the end of Penguin Drum. It's the end of Penguin Drum is peak fiction. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, okay. You saw the clip though? That clip is so good. Is it doing numbers at least? Oh, it's doing pretty good numbers. Let me just play it again. Oh, this tree. I've never seen a more beautiful tree in my life. The Yggdrasil? Don't worry about the Yggdrasil. Beautiful tree in my life. The Yggdrasil? Don't worry about the Yggdrasil. Mid. The air tree. Elden Ring? Mid. Ganishka's tree. Berserk. Mid. The Deku Tree, the Great Deku Tree, mid. Fuck the Erd Tree. Fuck the Erd Tree. Anyways, we get hype about trees in this stream. Yeah, I don't know, Fiji. It's either it's either that. Well, we can't get into spoilers. But I will say it's either a flashback. It could be Whale Island. It could be a Kurta thing. Something to do with the Kurtas. I don't know. It could be a number of things, and I'm hyped for all of them. Fuck the Erd Tree. Professional non-Hunter Hunter tree hater. Hey, Vanilla. Yeah, this is one of the best episodes in Greed Island. Before you watch the clip I sent, right, I won't be able to talk to you on Friday about it, but hopefully you thought it added a lot to the scene. You watched the clip I sent. I don't know which one. I don't know what you're referring to, Davinator. Oh, wait, no, yeah, I did. Yes, I did. All right, thanks, Shaw. Thanks for joining in. Have a good day, Shaw. And so yeah, just like Sarah says here. Oh, and what's the this or that, Sebastian? Just like Sarah says here, I love the detail of Machi looking at Paku's grave in the scene. Like you mentioned earlier, it shows the effect her death left and how every member individually reacted and coped with it. Machi's clearly grieving. Yes, I love that, and it's just it's beautiful visually. Like just this alone just looks beautiful, and it's a different way of grieving for Pakunoda compared to Uvo. Paku was a very much quieter person, a much more withdrawn person, and the manner of her death was there were fewer unknowns, so it's a different manner of grieving, but it still nonetheless has an impact. And just Machi here, just looking there, you can glean a lot about their relationship through the little touches, and this is the last one, unfortunately, but you can tell she really cared about her. It's quite a sad little moment. I'm not sure what you're asking, Chris H. Is the Whale Island... No. No, Whale Island... Whale Island... I understand what you're asking now. Whale Island is Gon's home island. Thank you for the follow, Ahardian. And then Kimberly or Ed. Ed. Which is curious, because, like, up until a year and a half ago, it would have been Kimberly pretty clearly. The song playing in the background was Snaky Chanty from Donkey Kong Country 2. Hey, Suspect's fine. Yeah, I imagine Pakunoda was like an older sister to Machi. Yeah. The way she's sitting reminds me of a kid alone sitting down, feeling detached and not connected, lost, sort of. Yeah. Yeah. I love this. It still felt, even 3 episodes into the new arc, because it should be, as it should be. And yeah, the meowing at the cat, yeah. I've just started appreciating Ed and what he represents and his characterization, and I've grown a lot more emotionally attached to him over the past year and a half as I've rewatched bits and pieces of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I don't know, just a change in connection, I guess. No real reason for it aside from that. Hey, Cactus. Hey, I don't know why I said Cactus instead of Shash. How's it going, Shash? We're on episode 61. We're just talking about Machi and how Pakunoda's influence and death is felt, and how the arcs sort of bleed into one another naturally in transition through things like this. And then the rest of them go into Greed Island as we continue that plotline. Yes, this OST is from Radiant Historia. It's called Radiant Historia. Oh, you prefer Cactus, Loki? Okay, I'll say Cactus. And then yeah, so they just continue. This is essentially, by the way, love this shot. You heard correctly, Nope on Dope. Shash is in here. And then I love this because, well, this is one of my favorite shots in a second. And they ask him NPC. Yeah, knowledgeable. What's that? Oh, this guy's clearly an NPC. I just love that. And this is one of my favorite shots in the anime. What you got, Thanik? This or that? What you got? I love this. Gon or Killua? Oh, I can't answer that one. I don't know. So prior. Okay, so I will somewhat answer it. Prior to my rewatch, it was Killua. I am rewatching now, and I can't answer right now. We don't need any more Gon emotes or Killua emotes, to be honest. We have enough of both. I mean, I'm leaning one way with the Gon Killua thing, but I'm not going to say until I finish rewatching the anime. And then yeah, so there's the NPC culture, the explaining the cards, nothing really huge here. And then we have this, just reinforcing the deadly nature of this. Also hinting at the overriding villainous plot here, blowing up from the inside. He just blew up from the inside. Weird. Also, I did compare the manga version of this because I had the physical of this scene. It is this looks brutal in the manga, insane. Think of that what you will. It means nothing. It means nothing. Gon and Killua as a duo are the best character. Absolutely hugs. Yeah, he is torn apart in the manga. It looks brutal. Gon is honestly one of the most focused characters I've ever seen. Togashi definitely knew the end goal of his arc right at the beginning, and everything about Gon builds towards that so effectively. Yeah, I mean, you could say that with regards to... Also, love the refractory effect of the smoke here. How it does the inverse colors. Very cool. Cool little detail. Yeah, so like I think Togashi does that with many characters, but with Gon, it's so you can see it from the beginning. There are signs from the absolute beginning that are also additive and naturally add up to the apex, I guess you could say, of his character. It's all there. It's all contributory. It's great. He's easily my favorite character in Hunter x Hunter. I totally understand why. Completely. What is your favorite anime of the season? Kaguya-sama. But I'm not watching. I watched 5, and now I'm down to 3. So not very many. Yeah, every moment, every interaction, it's all contributory. Would you say that he had the end planned from the beginning, or had the character planned and the end was the natural end result? Honestly, the second one fits Togashi to a T, doesn't it? So I think it could be either one, Sebastian. I like the idea of Togashi just having such a pristine sense of who Gon is that every interaction is so organic and natural with regards to who he is. And then he just goes, damn, this is how he's going to end up. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. So I like that idea, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I think either of them is very plausible. The second one's more characteristic of Togashi, but the way it all coalesces almost seems like it was planned in advance. But again, it's Togashi. I don't know. Perfect blend of the gardener and the architect. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Yeah, the journey, yeah. It's so stream of consciousness, yet so focused. What did you drop this season? I dropped Aoashi. That anime is so mid, I'm sorry. And, what was the other one? There was one more, I think. There was one more. And I'm still watching Komi-san, Kaguya-sama, and Spy Family. I think he even said that before. Reminds me of how George R. R. Martin talked about it. Yeah, like the end result ends up being a natural byproduct of the process there, right? Oda does that with some characters. I've heard that. Hey, NF Master. Togashi is all about a strong sense of self. I think he constructs characters in a way that they write themselves, which he stated often himself. He has stated that. Like, he literally said Hisoka, for example, does what he wants regardless of Togashi's actual plans, which is interesting because Togashi has such a distinct thematic and tonal, like I say, the counterbalance role, the wild card, the way he has a function in every arc. But it's almost like he takes on a life of his own, that a byproduct of which is having that very effective function every arc. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, Togashi is very... It writes itself kind of way because of the sheer identity he has and the sheer focus and clear focus he has on every element of his story, especially the characters. The one thing I'll give this arc is that it rid me of any illusions that Hunter x Hunter was like other shonen. When I first saw the OP for the season, I thought Bisky was going to be a love interest. Thankfully, you were wrong. I'm very glad you were wrong about that, Jesse's Mask. Oh yeah, it's very accurate Turkish. Very authentic. With regards to this and how it speaks of MMORPGs. Like, everything that goes on here in this episode, it is literally like... what do you call them? In like an FF14 or something. Clans? There's a name for them. MMO. There's a name for these MMO groups of players. What are they called? I'm in one. I forget what it's called. Yeah, it wasn't memorable. Exotic. Does Jing just pay all the NPC people in Greed Island to play the role of NPCs? They're Nen. They're projections of Nen, Benny Zakura. I think, at least. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, exactly, Hugs. Because Gon is a lot of characters are multidimensional in that they're very human. They have distinct humanity to them, obviously. Otherwise, a lot of it wouldn't land. But they also are conduits and vehicles to explore certain ideas. Gon explores the most, you could say, or Gon is one of the ones that explores the most. Pariston is another great example. Won't get into spoilers about that. Leorio is another great example. Kurapika and Killua are similar to that, but they go in more emotional directions rather than sort of ideas. This chat is not spoiler-free. No explicit things for stuff past Greed Island. We already had the spoiler section, Cactus. Togashi himself, yeah, that's a great way of putting it, NF Master. Hunter x Hunter isn't a manga, it's a parallel universe Togashi has peeked into, yeah. Guilds, yes. MMO guilds. That's it. Yeah. So, like, this is literally the formation of an MMO guild, right? Very dysfunctional one, knowing all these people. But this is it, right? Guilds or free company. Yeah, free company in FF14. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Glasses guy seems pretty nice, yeah. What Togashi did with Bisky was absolutely genius. Didn't expect her at all for her to be 57. It is cool, yeah. I didn't expect that at all either. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that. Yeah, some of the NPCs are criminals on death sentences, yep. Though, I mean, because if you're thinking about Beanolt, I don't consider him an NPC, because he has a more active role. But I'm sure people who... Because, like, NPC... I wouldn't classify them as NPCs if they're actual humans. But, I mean... I guess you can. I don't know. It's a weird topic. But yes, there are people on death row in the game. Yeah, Gon is the greatest personification of the duality of discovery. You know, that wide-eyed curiosity. The volatility of that. Oh, the guys from the sports games. Yeah. Yes. But then again, they're real living, breathing people, so I don't know if you can classify them as NPCs. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. It might just be Razor's 14. It may be Razor's 14 that are the only people, inmates or whatever. Gon perfectly encapsulates the whole concept of tipping the scale that Togashi extensively explores throughout the manga. Yeah. And it's, again, a simultaneous... They're not vehicle... Like, this is a weird comparison to make, but people often criticize Fate Zero for the characters being vehicles for ideology, which I totally disagree with, but nonetheless, the point I'm making is that these characters in Hunter x Hunter are so clearly vehicles for certain things, but it's so organically integrated that it doesn't even feel like it. There's humanity that permeates every single one of them. Okay, anyway, let us continue. So we talked about this, and then what I love here is that they continue to go for the mechanics, sort of dip their toes in, and they're talking about Greed Island in such a cutthroat, pragmatic, cynical manner. Also, I should change this song. No idea who you're talking about. I need to change the music. Sad. And I love how, as they talk about it in this cynical manner, Gon gets more and more resolute and annoyed. Alright, Sebastian, have a good lunch. They just continue to talk about this, and the look in his eye, it tells a story of its own. But what we get here as we continue, the guild forms, several important characters here, and then Gon just goes, you know what, I can't do this. I'm out. And then I love Killua's reaction to this. Because he just goes, you heard the leader. I'm out of here. He's just along for this. Hey, did you talk about what Togashi's last tweet could be about? Yes. The first 40 minutes of the VOD is what you're looking for that, Diego Lucio. We talked about that tree, theorized a little bit. Yeah, I agree, Eladan. It is highly ideological. Like we were talking about, it's a stream of consciousness as much as it is a story of these ideas, and how they're explored. But it's counterbalanced with so much focus and just genuine storytelling brilliance, character brilliance, and like I said, humanity. I'm a broken record. But yeah, Gon gets angrier and angrier at all these people insinuating that Jing created a game based on stealing and killing, when Jing told them to enjoy it and not a single card is actually capable of hurting people. Yeah, but so that upsets Gon. And then they cut to Gen. I think this is rearranged a bit from the manga, not sure. Andres would be able to correct me on that, or maybe Shadow. I don't think that happens immediately. I'm not sure. Not too important either way. But yeah, and then here, like, what's wrong, Gon? And he says, I couldn't take it anymore. And then I love this little moment. You're playing this game to help me find my dad. And then Killua internalization immediately. No, you're wrong. Which is a precursor to the scene we're about to get in a second, which is the criticism I was talking about earlier. I swear I'm getting to it. So why were you so mad? And then this is where we get it. They had nothing but bad things to say about the game Jing made, like how it's based on killing and stealing. I want to do what Jing said and just enjoy it. I knew it wouldn't be easy. That was because I thought all the players enjoyed playing it. But then seeing them talk about it in that pragmatic way. By the way, thank you for the follow, Escopa and its jokes. And Bravely Third, I don't think I mentioned that a few minutes ago. Thank you very much. I wouldn't draw a conclusion on that based on that Turkish. A criticism of Genthru as a villain is that he has no real connection to Gon throughout the arc. They basically never meet until the fight, but I think that's the intention. Gon has no connection to Genthru. From the very beginning, he already viewed the people who use killing in the game to get their ways as villains, with him as the hero. So him not knowing Genthru personally makes that disconnect work, especially with how it contrasts the following arc. Gon was not interested in getting involved with any of these people because of how they ideologically opposed what he viewed this game to be. Just have fun, you know? But yeah, I totally agree with that, Shadow. I don't think that's a good... I don't buy into that criticism. Do you think Jing made it possible to kill on purpose, or was it just a limit of the system? I mean, we know it's the real world, right? So... yeah, I think Jing was well aware of it. I don't think it was unintentional at all. And also, it's the real world. Is it my favorite what, Diego, for the season, you mean? I tweeted about it, very vaguely. Yeah, I don't think Jing really cares either. We know, well, if you've watched the whole thing, you know Jing. And even given what we've learned about him so far, he just doesn't seem like the type to really go, ooh, killing? No, I don't want any of that. Killing's not good. You know, Jing's very lax about that sort of thing, so I don't think he cares. And then I love this. It's the player mentality, not the game, that scares me. Gon literally says, hate the player, not the game. They're willing to hurt others to get cards. And then Killua offers the direct contrast to that. Like, I think it makes sense. Killing is wrong. Like, this game is for hunters. Killing is wrong. I agree with you there. But if they have a fair fight with predetermined rules, like, it's fair game. Like, killing is in the game. It doesn't seem like there's a limit to killing, so it's part of it. So I like how Killua contrasts him there. Gon is very narrow vision sometimes, and having his tunnel vision expanded upon in that way makes him think about Jing in maybe a little bit of a different way, and it's just good for him in general. They're just following the game's rules. And then Gon goes, yeah, I guess so. It does feel lame, but I guess so. And then Killua, let's just enjoy it. And then I'll just stop right here. My brain is forming a connection between Togashi and Jing here as the creators of universes that have stories that they don't control, but only make possible. I mean, Jing... Lots of people do think of Jing as the closest thing to a Togashi surrogate, at least thematically or ideologically, right? And yeah, the creator of our protagonist, as NF Master puts that, exactly. Jing is unconcerned with morals, generally speaking. He's not someone who intentionally conducts himself immorally, but he wouldn't shy away from it either. Yeah, it's with Jing, it's like, it is what it is, right? Exactly. I think based on his characterization in the manga, Jing probably made Greed Island thinking everyone would be like him and only play it for fun, but he probably didn't care once he realized people would kill for it. He's very casual in that way. Yeah, maybe. Okay, and then so we're coming up on one of the best scenes in the series, IMO. If you think about it, Gon never has a connection on a personal level with the main villain from York New. Right, we're not going to get into future stuff, but yeah, York New, Crollo, Gon doesn't have much of a personal connection with him at all. And Greed Island, too. He has one with Hisoka, but... yeah. Jing is one of the most archetypal characters in the series, so it makes sense that his actions would be closely in line with Togashi's intent and story. Most archetypal. What do you mean by that, Darkside? I think I get it, but not sure. Yeah, that's what Eladan says there is what I get. He embodies the spirit of a hunter, which makes sense since he's the initial goal. That's what I see him as. An embodiment of Detour's theme, hunter, the beauty of this stream of consciousness form of writing, all of that coalesced. I see him as the embodiment of that, as the vehicle of that, as we were talking about earlier. Yeah, but I mean, that's why I specified thematically Time Lord. People say that he's meant to be one. But I'm talking about in terms of the messages and ethos of the whole story. So people criticize this scene, or at least have criticized it to me, have come to me and criticized this scene because in the manga, I talked about this, I won't dwell on it a ton, but in the manga, what happens here is, so what we have here is Gon saying, Killua, thank you, I'm glad I got to know you. And then the scene after this, right here, it is just them two, this position, black, completely white background, nothing in the background. And so a criticism I've heard, the criticism I've heard is that because, oh yes, it's a very nice illustration, the pastel colors, it looks beautiful, but it fails to capture the spirit of the manga. It's just beauty, it's just pretty for pretty's sake. Because in the manga, the point is that Gon and Killua are almost isolated, like it completely isolates them with this white background and just the words and the dialogue, showing that how they're both in their own little worlds, essentially. And Killua, for him at this moment, there is nothing but Gon and his words and how he feels towards him. It's that isolative element, basically, is what the purpose is what essentially a part of the purpose of this scene is, right? So, and then they say, you know, this is pretty, but it fails to get any of that because it doesn't have that white background. It doesn't capture that same idea, right? To which I say, yeah, I mean, if you just look at the scene in a vacuum visually as a screenshot, but that's why you can't compare an anime to a manga just by looking at screenshots. Because, right, there's that isolated element visually in the manga, but pay attention to the presentation throughout this scene, right? We have the triumphant green music, Greed Island music playing here. And he says, thank you. Killua looks behind. Great animation on the hair, by the way. I'm glad I got to know you. No, it's not a valid criticism, Vanilla. It's not, because I'm going to explain why, at least in my opinion. And then here, so the music peters out. Ambient sound completely disappears. We get a snapshot here, and then complete silence, right? So audio, it's an audio-visual medium, and the way in which the music swells and ramps up and then peters out, you don't hear any ambient sounds from the background. It's just pure silence and Killua's dialogue. That's the isolative element. They're both, nonetheless, still in their... it is just Killua thinking about Gon, but the way the audio is isolated is the way that it's presented here. So yeah, if you look at it, maybe if the audio didn't change at all, if it didn't go to complete silence, if the music continued, yeah, I'd get that for sure. But I mean, what is the tone of this if not isolative, you know? And so it's audio-visually you got to look at it, in my opinion. I think it still translates, that element translates across really well due to the not just visual direction, but the audio-visual direction. I think that's achieved through the audio. So that's what I'm trying to explain. That's what I've talked about before. We talked about it a lot before, and the problem with criticizing screenshots and comparing them to panels. And that's just my take on it. I think it's a big problem to just go look at the visuals and say it didn't portray this feel, because then there's the whole rabbit's hole of is it a different take on that feel? But anyway, that's a different thing. Anyways, I really hate how it's often either sorry, Sarah, I didn't read it out loud, but you know me, I totally agree with what you said. I really hate how it's often either slander of Togashi's art or misunderstanding it or idolizing it to the point of bringing down the anime adaptation in comparison. Can we not have a balancing middle ground? In this chat we can. Outside of it, oftentimes not. Yeah, exactly, Thomas. It's Jocks. Like I said, I don't really want to talk about speculation for future arcs because this is, we don't want to, this is Greed Island, this is a Greed Island stream. We talked about spoilers for that earlier on. Sorry, maybe in another stream, but right now we can't be talking about explicit future spoilers. It would be cool, though, to answer the question on a general level, it would be cool. Anyways, yeah. It's a beautiful scene, though. And then we have this little... this little gremlin looking on here. Who could this possibly be? I feel like messing with them. I love Bisky. And then the episode ends. Beautiful. I really like 61 a lot. I don't get this plot point. Which plot point? Yeah, I mean, they pretty much, Jonathan, they pretty much got phased out last episode, episode 60. I like it because to Killua, I believe it makes him feel like Gon is almost otherworldly in his optimism, and the pastel colors give off this bubbly, positive vibes which contrasts how Killua feels. He wishes he could feel this way. No, I get that, Dragonite. I get that. I can see that for sure. It's an idealization, right? And that's portrayed pretty well through the bright pastel colors, this otherworldly feel, like you say, to the the illustrations there. I get that for sure. Oh yeah, it's your header, eh? Looking forward to seeing if Killua passes Gon for you in your next tier list. We shall see. Bisky wanting to mess with them, like I understand it, but I don't see what point it serves. Again, I mean, we had that whole discussion of points in Hunter x Hunter, right? It's just part of her it's part of her character. So Bisky, like Shadow just said there, Bisky's a transmuter, whimsical, changes mind quickly. She kind of likes to screw with people sometimes. It's just part of who she is. So naturally, she'd want to mess with them. The point it serves is it's an accurate portrayal of who the character is. It's just laying it out there. This is Bisky, you know? Like anything else with Hunter x Hunter, what's the point of showing the black market culture? What's the point of any world building detail, any characterization tidbit? Just for Togashi to let us into this world a lot of the time. My Twitter header is episode 127 of Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, it's just to show part of who she is, right? Hey, chemistry dude, how are you? I feel like it seemed a bit too important to lead to nothing. I mean, it's just like a 10-second scene, really. There's not much weight put on it. Interesting, it's Jocks. I don't agree. But interesting take. It's too bad it doesn't work for you. And then Gon and Killua end up perusing getting cards, doing their stuff. Good boys. Explore to your heart's content. They start building it up. They are now, I love how here they open up their books, shows they're not experts. I know that you just started. You're bluffing. Introduces restricted card slots. And again, gradual opening of the customs and the game. Togashi loves to do this drip feed of these elements. And yeah, it doesn't lead to nothing. It leads to Bisky stalking them and then seeing the type of people they are and gaining this interest in them, right? Thanks for following, chemistry dude. I'm glad as well. Hopefully you can join in more if you enjoy. Assuming you enjoy. If you don't enjoy, don't go to my streams. No one should be here if they don't like them. There's some trickery here from turning a stone into a card. Ah, okay. I forgot that completely. This guy has a name Motarike. Okay, sure. Interesting. Interesting name. Thank you for always providing them, Sarah. Yeah, and then I love how Gon's just able to simply take the card. That was very educational, and attack spell won't kick in until you finish the chant. So it also shows they've improved quite a bit. There are levels to this. It's just more of the game culture. And then they get they get their stuff taken from them a little bit. Yeah, I still... Wait, Oh yeah, I definitely still disagree. It's Jocks. But yeah, it's too bad. Too bad it doesn't work for you. Yeah, that's the role Bisky fulfills for sure. And then with regards to the actual trolley interest in them, yeah, that's just part of her characterization. Oh yeah, Bisky is definitely IMO a better teacher than Wing, but that would make sense given that she is Wing's mentor herself, right? Okay, and then also nice little look from Killua here. The Killua side glances, They're a big thing in Heaven's Arena. They're also a big thing in Great Greed Island. And then we get this, the monopolizing of the cards. We get the... Oh, wait, we didn't get the revelation just yet. But surely nothing bad can happen here. They continue to peruse, and then I like this. Let me join you. And I love... This is great. By the way, I gotta change the song here. This is great voice direction, because she talks here so helpless and innocent. Like, please let me join you. Sorry. Can't. You'd be a nuisance. And that's the real Bisky, right? I just like the voice direction. I'm gonna ruin their lives. Hold on. It's great. I love Bisky. Then we get a continuation of the... we get a continuation of the idea with the plotline thing, the continuous plotline with the spider. Them engaging in the culture of Greed Island, getting more exposition drip fed to us about Greed Island through them, which is cool. And then the testing they do with Cortabe's card, it just makes sense. It's cool because that is something that the Phantom Troop would do, right? To test these sorts of things. Just natural. It's cool. That's cool chemistry, dude. I taught myself how to play guitar, but I haven't taught myself many Hunter x Hunter songs. Yeah, the duality of Bisky is on full display with the Hisoka stuff. And then they begin theorizing about the nature of Greed Island with regards to the actual world. We didn't leave bodies behind, so it's based somewhere in the real world, which is cool. And established, well, this was established before, but just a reiteration of the fact that you win here, your prize is 3 unrestricted slot cards, 3 cards being actualized, being brought into reality, and you can use their effects in reality, which is a really cool idea for a reward for this. Also, nice little shot here. Sheldon is super big brain. I'm too rusty for that Dragonite stream, Dragonite Supreme, and also there is not going to be a karaoke stream. Also, Bisky's nice storyboarding, but I like Bisky's. I love Bisky's run. It's so cute. It's so intentionally cute, but you know. Yeah, the Killua shirt. But couldn't a person with a certain inability be able to take their whole folder with them whenever? I suppose so. I really wanted to see that Bozo try to intimidate Finks and Phaeton. Oh, that would have been gold. That would have been really cool. 2 million channel points, sure. That wasn't a joke at all. And then I love this. Also, cute Bisky in the back like that. Bisky running with her arms held up, and Killua running with his hands in his pockets. Super based. This seems like a throwaway NPC video game thing that Togashi's doing with a wink, but how it ends up being important later on, really cool. Also, I love this. My son has only 3 days to live. Could you spare us money? This is an in-game event, right? Like it's just so charming and funny as they navigate what's a real event as these people are going through very real but very real, if they were real, horrible events, but they're scripted. So the casual wink is really great. If we give them money, how much do you need? Yeah, and it's exactly what they have. It's perfect. I love that the bandits come back and they end up getting the item because of their selfless behavior. Yeah, I do too. I do too. And then Bisky has enough. Could you shut up for a moment? Oh, man. That is quite a sight, Exotic. Okay, and they save him. And then they need some clothes. Oh, man. I love it. This is so great. And then so she continues to follow them throughout. They fight monsters, but there's this ever-present element of they are wasting their potential. And I love how she's just going, an unpolished gem. I need potential to be harnessed here. The way they exit the frame, yeah, that's great. Pay up quest, yeah, exactly. You aren't using your eyes properly, and I love her frustration. It's so palpable. And they're so clueless with this. Oh, what is this? It's loud. When you touch them, the red ones don't pop. Oh, that popped. What's that? And she knows exactly what it is. It's just so funny. Thank you for the sub, Chemistry Dude. You can put that towards any of the goals if you'd like. Oh, damn, Sarah beat me by a millisecond. Did it glitch because we both... Okay, good. If you want to put it towards any of the goals on there, you can fund it with your sub. If not, thank you very much for the support. Simply, thank you. And then so I just love Bisky's frustration throughout this whole thing, and this whole chibi thing. It's so cute. These boys are just wasting their potential. Ah, beautiful. And then it gets to the point where they fund this night, and then she just goes, you know what, I'm taking a stand here. And then she just so naturally goes into the leader role. She so naturally goes into the leader, the teacher role, and they so naturally just automatically follow her. And what I love here is that and her tone of voice immediately authoritative, commanding. When I do this, you use Gyo. Then holler at what you see, and then you're like, huh? Why are you ordering us around? And I love how Gon does it. And then you do 200 pushes. What do you mean? What do you mean? Hey, Bisky's theme is really good. Yeah, it's super fun, no cap. I also think Izunavi was a better teacher than Wing. Like, a lot of the stuff that Gon and Killua can't do here is something Kurapika could easily do after his training. Yeah, true. Biscuits Kruger. And then I love this. This is one of my favorite little comedic scenes. I learned Nen 40 years ago. 40 years ago? Ultimate peak. You missed quite a lot, Kyrovan, but hey, the VOD's there if you're interested. Or if you're not interested, that's cool too. But yeah, this is... I love this. Killua's blasting off again. And then yeah, end of 62. That was end of 62, I think. Yep. We'll see how much we can get through in the next half hour or so. Maybe a bit more than half an hour. Wing's one of her students, which we talked about before. And then she's established as basically their teacher now. You're stubborn, but I like to see that in kids. Anyway. Oh, you've only watched the dub? That's interesting. Usually that tends to be something people watch in my experience, it tends to be something people watch after watching the sub first, most of the time. Not all the time. But hope you enjoyed the dub. And yep, then we can see here they're being watched by a certain someone. And they, what I love is Bisky senses it right away. So they go, okay, so we gotta use caution, stick together, okay. He's gonna attack me, conceal your presences, blah blah blah. And then I love this for their diversion here, or for it to be acting. Oh, the reaction images. And then gone here. Oh, they're acting. Oh, I love the Greed Island humor. I think Wing's teaching methods are a result of his hesitancy towards teaching them in the first place, which I actually like. He taught them what they needed at the time in the basics, but didn't go too far into it since they're still kids, and maybe he didn't want them to know it because he didn't want to imagine that they would need it anytime soon. They're still kids, which many adults forget in this show. Yeah, something we talked about back in Heaven's Arena was that Jing was a huge... He was very reluctant, very hesitant, and the only reason he did it was essentially because Killua told him, we're gonna learn anyway. If you want us to learn properly, you should teach us yourself, right? He was kind of roped into it a little bit, so I think it makes sense. It might be an indication of his skill as a teacher, but it might not necessarily at the same time. Or it could be a mix of both. Because he was reluctant, but then again, he also poured himself into it later. I don't know. I think it makes sense that Bisky is a better teacher than his. Izunami, it could be a circumstantial thing. I don't know. And then Beanolt here, yes. The Hair Eater. The basis of one of the main points of my infamous Gone video. Also, a bit of a precursor here. What's scarier is how honed her body is. And then, well, Bisky can kind of destroy him, but she uses this not as efficiency, right? Nothing wasted here, and she uses this as a learning opportunity for Gon and Killua, which is, they realize her skill, they respect it. Bisque de Iwasa. Let me just freeze on here for a sec. In the manga, he throws up blood. Oh, I didn't know that part. Izunami probably realized that Kurapika wanted the most skill and power ASAP. Right. Whereas Wing was probably more focused on telling them things that would prevent them from being killed in Heaven's Arena. More so than anything else. I don't know. Yeah, so how hard Bisky... So that's important. Bisky hit him so hard he started throwing up blood. Interesting. And then, yeah, Gon's face there. Okay. And so Gon tells her his goal here. Also, notable that she recognizes exactly who Jing is. That he's one of the top 5 Nen users. And again, we have another person here, similar to Satots, who views Jing with an admirable eye, Baba. With an admirable eye. Respect him. And so we get fed a lot of details about Jing that are traditionally negative. A lot of them from the way in which he avoids and treats Gon and puts him on this quest. Some of them from Mito, But then we also get to see little bits and pieces about the sort of things he's done that are very positive and how he's an admirable person. We get a bit more of that from Bisky here. And just, again, these integrated pieces really helps build up the man and make him, at this point, an enigma of a character, more so than an actualized one, which is cool and important, I think. That's cool, Soda Pyramid. I'm glad I was able to be a part of that. That's really cool. And then they finally come around and they ask her. Or Gon at least asks her. Okay, and then so they are not to leave the crater, the crater for this, otherwise she'll kill them. Yikes. But yeah, he's a brutal murderer, and that's who they're stuck in this crater with. That's what they're using for training. But it kind of keys you into, also nice shot here, by the way, it also keys you into the philosophy here. Nothing wasted. Every opportunity to get better, to get stronger, to learn more. It's very inseparable from Gon's ideals and the way he views the world. But Bisky, through this exercise, is doing the same sort of thing. Jing has the same light in his eyes as his son. He does. I like that no matter how far the story goes, the mythos of Jing is constantly being built over time. Yeah, for sure. That's one of my favorite things about Jing as a character and the overarching plot, is that it keeps you guessing. It keeps you adding new layers and bits to the integrated picture of who he is. It's really cool. It's really cool. Okay, and so essentially, this goes on, they learn bits, they get better and better, they improve, and then we get to a point where, like, they start doing it throughout the day, and what I like here, also the lighting, beautiful. The lighting throughout this is pretty damn good. Not sure if there's a good shot somewhere here. I just like this. I just think it looks nice, with Bisky on the side there. But they get to a point where, and we get a bit of internalization for Bisky here. The rock-hard conviction in Gon's eyes, the bottomless potential. And she wants to polish these guys like diamonds. So, just nice internalization here. Love how this looks. I love Bisky. And then, but... also like this shot as well. Just generally really good storyboarding throughout. Hey, Zephyrix, how's it going? And then we get to a point where they incapacitate him here. They win, essentially. And Killua is about to end it, essentially, or knock him out. Either or. Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes, Zephyrix. We were gushing about that. Either or, but then Gon says, as Gon intends to say, we still have time. Let's wring as much out of this as we can. Stopping now would be a waste. Let's continue. You should get some rest. And so what's important here is Gon is very much looking at Binolt as a means to getting stronger. Get rest. And I don't think it's because Gon cares about him personally or has compassion. I think it's because they want to get better. Like Killua says here, it takes both of us to beat an injured, exhausted man. We won't stand a chance, exactly. Gon and Killua literally used rock to beat scissors Binolt. Oh, that is cool, away from Kevin. That is really cool. And so yes, Gon is looking at him for his utility. We can use this. It would be a waste. Very opportunistic, exactly. This is going to be flashbacks of the Gon Freaks morality video. Yes, yes. Binolt is being used as a means to an end, as a bit of a tool here. And then we get this flashback to him as a kid and the treatment he had endured in a bit of a nightmare. And also, love the shot here. Love the lighting. Looks great. They slowly improve. You can see the days passing. I like the rain, the details. This just looks so good. It just looks good. Like the lighting of the rain, the splash, the shot of Bisky in focus here. It just looks so attractive. And then it's crazy. The first time I watched it, I was just like, this guy's a serial murderer. Bisky straight up said it. Why do I feel sorry for him? Uh, why do I feel sorry for him? 90? What's 90? Um, yeah, it absolutely is. Efficiency, pragmatism. Because, like, I wasn't even thinking about his backstory. I'm like, okay, that's one thing. Put that off to the side. But someone just being used for this, it just inspired sympathy within me before I kind of checked myself and went, oh, no, I don't feel bad for him. He's an awful person. But nonetheless, then we get to this. I never wanted any of this. We get back to his childhood. Bit of a parallels with another character we were introduced to in the Chimera Ant arc. Just horrible treatment. And this shot actually here is actually really good. Him looking at what became the core and central focus of his life. Really good. I really like this. It tells you a lot. We won't kill you. We've improved a lot because of you. So yeah, that's jumping ahead a little bit. But yeah, why not just talk about it here? As Gon says, he was out to, as Sarah says, which Gon says, we won't kill you, we've improved a lot because of you. He was out to kill them, and Bisky mentioned he was a murderer before, and before he surrendered, he had hostile intent, but Gon, as he does, did not care about that any longer. Gon looks upon him as something that's helped them through his utility. And so as a result, he looks at him as, someone with, he doesn't look at him with a negative intent or with bad feelings or anything. He looks at him positively. Yeah, let's just show off the OST a little bit. I'm not... So, oh no, like, you guys are misinterpreting me. I'm not saying I'm not saying the only reason Gon used... I didn't mean to say that the only thing Gon was using Beanold for was a tool, but I'm saying that's a prominent, primary part of why he looks at him the way he does, why he, like, the way he talks about him. It's clearly prominent. I think it's the core of his attitude and demeanor towards him. Again, guys, this is very stream of consciousness. A lot of times, assumptions that you make about what I'm saying aren't actually what I mean, but that's why we clarify them. But yes, as Eladan's kind of saying there, as Zapile said, he doesn't look at things as wrong or right. He looks at them in terms. He fully appraises them using his own compass, right? He looks at them without any preconceived notions. He didn't really look at him as a murderer. Like Bisky told him, he's a murderer, but he didn't let that factor into the way he felt about him. You know. And then from there we see what happened. What happens? Excuse me. What? You heard what here first? And then I love this. Sorry, this is exactly what Sarah was talking about. And then, but it's very important because he says, "We won't kill you. You helped us make a lot of progress," and that's the immediate rationale Gon has for why he isn't going to kill him, which I think is notable. And which I think is why, in my opinion, while it's not the sole thing he looks at him as, it is the primary thing, as this utility. But at the same time, Gon has shown himself to be very intuitive, to be very understanding, and be able to see a person's nature very accurately. And so maybe he sensed that Beanolt wanted to turn his life around. Maybe he sensed all of this. Who knows? Because that's plausible. It's plausible that could be a factor behind it as well. But yeah, important line from Bisky as well. And then he sees himself in this. This is quite poignant, you know. Gon got the. I mean, if a serial murderer saw me drop my ice cream and bought me a new one, I'd shudder to call the police. He got me ice cream mentality. That's an interesting way of putting it. And yeah, this is exactly what Binault needed his entire life. Uh, I love that as well. Again, he's very concerning. He's very uh, disarming is the way I put it. Very disarming in that way, in which he is exactly what a lot of people need from him at this point in their lives for a variety of reasons, right? And he is this for Binault as well. And then we have. Okay, I'll turn myself in. So he says that after Gon forgives him, not before, which is a lot of the crux of why people say, "Oh, Gon didn't do that because he looked at him for his utility and his opportunistic thing. It was because he was going to turn himself in." To which I say, maybe Gon sensed he had some regrets through his demeanor or whatever, but to me, it's too much of a stretch for him to assume that he was going to turn himself in before he said that, which is why I don't buy into that personally. He said it after. But yeah, anyway, I'm sidetracking a little bit. And then what Bisky says here, "You're flawless, a perfect gem. But that pure nature could be your undoing." Adults and looking at Gon with concern and saying that he's a monster. Name a better combo. Name a more iconic combo. Because purity manifests, like I say, in both dark and light ways. And we have this little training montage. This is visually very beautiful. I love this shot here of them and the great expanse of the water and the valley here. Yeah, the commentaries of others with regards to Gon is very important. Sorry, what did Gord say? What did I miss it? Oh, oh, okay. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I've only ever read it. Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing why you think so. And then they go back, they go there, they go back, they do their training, they learn about how to more efficiently apply their nen as they do this. They have this rope thing, which Kilo is used to. Poor Gon. He's not great at it at first. Oh, also I love this shot. This is just very comfy, very beautiful. This sends an important message for life in general. You can have productive interactions with people you disagree with ideologically. Sure, I totally agree. I'm just wondering what part of the story was the catalyst to you saying that, Revolutionary? Was it... Yeah, which part of the story was that you're referring to? I totally agree, by the way, though. And then Bisky making food for them, of course. Gon with his head, very cute. And they continuously improve, and they're doing their shovel thing, and yeah, just a lot of training. I like the postcard memory thing as well, as always. And then yeah, we can continue a little bit more. They continue their training, they make it through. I think we can go through these episodes a little bit quicker. That's important. The people who made this game make it so that you get stronger as you progress naturally. She literally calls Jing a great game designer. Cool. The criminal part. Right. Okay. I guess I just don't myself interpret that. I don't myself extract that from that scene, I guess. But yeah, I definitely agree with the sentiment. An appropriate level curve, absolutely. Yeah, they just continue training. I don't have much to say about this, but the interaction's super cute. It's so cute. See ya, Blaze Rage. We won't be streaming for too much longer. More aura stuff, talking about balancing the aura in specific parts of your body, different percentages and things like that, and defense. combining ten and ren and ko and everything. Again, not my forte. But and I like this because she's doing it in slow motion, and then they gradually work up to it. To me, this is a really great way for them to learn and embrace what they have to do. Shadow's forte, yeah, there you go. But what I really love about this, they don't dwell upon it. I mean, this is a continuous thing throughout. But what I love, I think we're skipping ahead a little bit, but what I love is that how Bisky says, okay, put 70% in your right fist, 30% rest of your body, okay, and then fight, and then adjust, and they do it slow motion, and I think that's really cool. I think it's really cool how they do that, and they gradually get faster and faster, and it makes sense. I love how none of these techniques, or how none of these advanced techniques are new, like we saw all of them in York New. Yeah, we saw them. We just never had them broken down and taught in this way. It's so cool. It's really cool. And then yeah, more of this. More training. And then the efficiency of mastering your own category. Balancing it through with the central category and the ones that you're most attuned with in the hexagon. Makes sense. And then I love this. 9. Ping pong, a draw. Good job. Same to you. So wholesome. I love it. And then the crushing rocks, which they get tired with. Yeah, again, just really cool training stuff. The history of rock, paper, scissors from Bisky, to which you really are old. This is one gag I'll never get sick of. And then we go into this group, this guild, this company, free company, excuse me. And Genthru explain. So what I like here is, okay, immediately we're front-loaded with Genthru, his very almost kind of mustache twirling-esque traditional villain nature, which works for this game, which works for, in a way you could say, works for the idea of this being a traditional video game. In some ways, you could say. But what I like is that he explains these things because he has to. It's a condition, right? It does for me too, Dragonite. Yeah, me too, M-Blood. They're super adorable. So that's just cool. That's just a way of feeding exposition in a natural way. That's done a few times. And this poor dude, Sarah, what's this guy's name? This guy gets screwed up. They say his name in a bit. But I love this shot here. As we have this menacing red dripping like venomous aura exuding from his fist here. Also visuals, pretty damn effective, but like here. Jispa is his name. Ah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Bombs and everyone, you say yes. Thank you. Thank you very much for the raid, Critty. What were you playing today? Is it Majora's Mask again? Am I gonna have to watch the VOD again? Either way, I hope you had fun. And welcome in, everyone. We're talking about Greed Island. We're not gonna be talking too much longer, but we'll do another episode or two. Doctor Strange. Oh, talking about Doctor Strange. I gotcha. Cool. Welcome in, guys. What's your favorite Neng quiz? I can't say I have one. But I love how the dripping venomous red aura here is a precursor to a different type of aura exuding off of something else later. Visually, at least, which is kind of cool. it talks about the pure malice, or informs us of the pure malice in there. What I love here is when they fight each other, Gon and Killua have to guess how much defensive power they have to use against one another. For example, Gon had to guess how much Killua was attacking with, then use 70 himself and block accordingly. And during their spar, Killua keeps guessing Gon's output exactly right while Gon is a few numbers off. Yeah, that is really cool. Thank you for the follow, the Akuman. The Akuman. Thank you. That is really cool. Again, a nice little detail of how learned Killua is. Oh, my screen's not there. Whoops. How learned Killua is. How, I guess, advanced he is. And it's just generally cool that Gon is off by a little bit. It's very loyal to their characters, and it makes sense. And it's a very cool drill for their training. And then, yeah, putting bombs in people, you say, as Sebastian said. Interesting. Little flower. A little flower. And so yeah, we go through his whole. I just like how the glint in his, like how the glasses, the eye, the glint in his eye is illustrated. Thank you for the hydrate. It really. Yeah, someone else pointed the detail while I was distracted. Yeah, little flower. Oh, well, happy early birthday, Thomas. Yeah, Sebastian, I've been planning on watching it for days now. Like, I tweeted about it. No need to convince me, don't worry. I've been planning, I just haven't had the opportunity. Yeah, it has, yeah, the makeup shots, that's a great way of putting it, Critty. The art and lighting is super clean. These shots that look like makeup shots in Attack on Titan, exactly. Like the texture around the eye, and the glasses here, just makes it really bold and striking, and like you say, clean. Yep, Little Flower, very interesting name, considering certain lore. If you know, you know. Why am I telling you so much about it? That's a condition. So, a bit of a get out of jail free card for exposition. Gotta love it. Imagine if it was named Little Rose. Imagine. Thank you for the follow. It's just Yare. Thank you. Explains the conditions. They gotta do I Caught the Bomber. This is terrifying. And I think it's an effective introduction for Genthru. You know, we talked about him already. Won't do it too much, but I think it immediately establishes him as super threatening, quite intelligent, quite clever, advanced as well, to be able to fool all these people. And it establishes the scale of it. And Jispa's running out of time, yeah. And very cutthroat. And I think Genthru, almost more than anyone, illustrates the lengths to which people are able or are willing to enact their greed, I guess you could say. Greed, like I talked about, we're going to talk about it later in the next stream, but greed, like I talked about, is tackled in so many different ways throughout the arc. The nuances of what you're willing to do for certain things, and maybe what you are not willing to do, or maybe when you relent. And Genthru through here is the extreme of how far people are willing to go for that sort of thing. Imagine if it was revealed that Genthru had a history with the Poor Man's Rose and how he came up with that power. Would be cool. Would be very cool. They never stood a chance. Absolutely, Shadow. Also interesting considering that we learn about it as a result of the intergroup betrayal, and the Rose exists because of the human need to kill each other. Yes. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's a precursor in multiple ways. Critty, at the beginning of the stream, we talked about that damn tree. That blurred out rough tree for like half an hour. Greed Island was a weird arc. How so? That's not. I don't necessarily consider that negative. But how so? I can't either. It's so great. And then Greed Island Tompa is dead. R.I.P. We hardly knew you. But so this is a nice introduction to Genthru and the villainous group, his two friends, and what their goals are and the way in which they enact it. And I also like this is a great hook at the end as they attempt to invade from the outside. Like, will it actually happen? Can they actually do it in that way? Like, what are the restrictions here? And it's just so cool that they try to barge in this way, the Phantom Troop. It's really cool. You can do quite a bit of theorizing in headcanon for Genthru, for sure. Ooh, this look from Bisky. I think we'll do one more episode. We'll do one more episode. He does, no cap. Gon does act very greedy at numerous parts throughout the arc. No one can replace our true king, if you say so. Yeah, I love this explanation that they give for it too, and the fact that Razor is just waiting there for them. I like Razor a lot. I think he's my second favorite. Not that there's a ton of new characters introduced here, but he's my second favorite probably. And his whole backstory, which we'll get into, and how it indirectly characterizes Jing, and what it says, some parallels between him and Gon. And it just adds more and more to the enigma that is Jing's character, while also obviously making him very human. It's really interesting. Razor's really great. Me too, Critty. Like high A at least for me. See you, Renegade. Have a good day. 66 is the perfect place to stop, considering it's the halfway point of the arc, basically. What are we at? 65? We'll see how quickly we do this. If we can do this quickly, then maybe we can do 66 as well. That's true, Sebastian. That's true. I wonder how they conceptualize it. But yeah, you didn't wash up on shore, right? And Jing thought of that too, or whoever did. If you let the waves carry you, they act in such a way that it's impossible for them to make you wash up on the island. Nice little detail. And the fact that Finks and the troop consider him strong informs you about how strong he really is, which is important for later on, obviously. I'll have to ask, you'll have to leave. Visit BIA official channels. Should you decide to play, we'll probably get to fight eventually. I would love to see that. Bisky number 1, Razor number 2. I tend to agree. And then I love Finks. Okay, we'll come in through the front door. I said this before, but I love how Finks himself doesn't have a ton of focus up until right at the end of York New, and then from there on he becomes one of the more prominent Phantom Troop members. And we learn more about him, and he becomes more substantial and important. You can get he also mentions here that you can get an item by fighting him. True. Yeah, he deceptively has a lot of heart. I think his last line in York New about Pakunoda, like she said thank you, she wanted to thank you, and his facial expression really tells you a lot about him. That's where I sort of clocked it. I should play Haikyuu for the dodgeball game. Maybe. And I just love how this explosion... Greed Island looks great, but I love how... And the volleyball serve. I just love how that all looks. Razor's great. And then they continue their training. And he wants to do a new technique, a paper technique, an emitter technique. But how do I do it? Bisuke! Noya would have received it. Absolutely. Yaku as well. It's really insane when you look at the difference between this ball and Gon's paper. Yes, that's true. Two distinct and very, like, right after one another. Shows the difference in emitter, in the powers. Thank you for the follow, Kia Griffin. A very 11-year-old question. Bisky, how do I make my Nen fly? Train more. Yeah, Killua reveals his... Oh, and then this is important, because Killua reveals his lightning, and then the second adult we have, who's extremely concerned about this. Like, look at the facial expression here. It tells a story of its own. His childhood must have been a living hell, and the amount of sympathy and compassion in her eyes there is really drew me to her and really endeared her to me, and made her even more likable to me than she already was. Because this is a moment of sheer immense weight and sympathy for Killua, and understanding for this kid who's at a living hell of a life. And I really appreciated this moment from her. And then what she says after this, it's a miracle that he can smile now. That is so beautiful. Greed Island does so many things for showing, for enhancing Killua, elevating him as a character, and I love how she frames this. It's a miracle he can smile now, and how it pans to Gon there. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Thank you for the follow, Death Maniac. A miracle named Gon. And then the warmth in her eyes there. This is one of my favorite shots of the whole arc. This expression. It's beautiful. And there's almost a pink filter coming out from her eyes across her face. You guys see what I mean? I don't know. It just looks, it's beautifully illustrated. That's an interesting way of putting it, Darkside. Killua's classic overpowered protagonist formula, but as a deuteragonist, he's brilliant. That's interesting. But yeah, I love this moment from Bisky. They make a great team. Yeah. I love it. Let's take a break. And then yeah, so then they bring forth the idea that Killua, the deadline's approaching, you should probably take the hunter's exam. So Killua leaves the island. Gon then tells him about the Kiriko, which is cool. Tell him you're my friend and you'll be good. And then they get back to training. I love Bisky for acknowledging and realizing how awful Killua's past must have been because of his Nen. Shows again how much Nen says about his user, but also about Bisky's introspectiveness, yeah, and her knowledge and intelligence. She understands Killua so well as well, what he must have been through, and how it shaped him and how much it means to him. Yeah, just through that. Like, literally all you need to see is Killua, this affinity to electricity. Oh my goodness, how must he have been able to build that up? His childhood must be a living hell. And then as an extension from that, it's a miracle that he's able to smile now. Why is he able to smile? Because of that bundle of life right over there, that bundle of light and positivity and purity. So you can gauge so much from just a little bit because of Nen, because of how much Nen communicates. It's so great. I left Killua already, but Green Island 100% grew him for me massively. There's so many small moments that make him even better for me. Yeah, I said earlier, Hannah, that Heaven's Arena is peak Killua side glance with regards to Gon, but Greed Island does a lot of that as well. And then the little moments, we have the no Gon, I'm lucky to have met you. It is pretty green. It's pretty well kempt. The moment I'm lucky to have met you, the dodgeball moment where it had to be Killua, is really good. It's really good. Almost like we're watching it through rose-tinted glasses. That's an interesting way to put that, Dragonite. That's cool. Because, and then when you apply that to the volatility of Gon's purity, that's an interesting rabbit hole. It mirrors the amounts of his emotional state through Gon. That's interesting, Pandawama. That's cool. Hey, antagonist. The best expansion pack for Nen in character. They had to use the N64's expansion pack for this. My favorite is always the moment where he fails and when they're smashing rocks or something, and he immediately is like, well, I suck. And Bisky is like, you did so good for your first try, and he jumps straight back up. Actually, yeah, we just did that episode. Let me just quickly show that. Because that's true. That's true. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up, Hannah, because that's a great point. Because they're smashing rocks somewhere here. Where are they smashing rocks? Right here. Is it? Yeah, right here. So, Killua, who has throughout his entire life received negative reinforcement, been very authoritatively trained, without warmth, without encouragement, whatever, and who looks at failure as a huge stumbling block, right? Right here, crushes the rock. Damn it, I failed, right? He immediately is so, it's like, he's so upset that he failed here. And then Bisky just goes, what are you talking about? You did well. Okay, and then he's encouraged to keep going, right? This is such a contrast between how he's been raised and how he's grown up. And he's so encouraged and so high, he's in such high spirits as a result of that. It's so beautiful, because now he's with people who are properly encouraging to him, people who are warm, people who will tell him what he's doing right and how far he's come, positive reinforcement. Yeah, it's exactly what he needs, and you can see through his reaction. Greed Island is a reconstruction of Heaven's Arena. It's Togashi taking the training arc idea and remaking it in a more refined manner. Yeah, because that's an interesting way of putting it, and I agree, because Heaven's Arena is kind of sprawling, and it goes in lots of different directions and does a lot of different things. Greed Island, I would say, is definitely more focused in a lot of ways. But yeah, Hannah with the big brain to bring up that moment. It's a great little moment for Killua. Thank you for the follow, Muniz. I have to say, I really appreciate these scenes more now, considering his upbringing. I didn't really consider that the first time I watched. Yeah, I didn't either. But it's so cool to look back on these things and be able to realize them. And Hannah noticed it on her first watch. Brain too big for all of us. Okay, and then Killua goes back. He does his thing. They continue training here, and then we get to what's his name? Sarah. The Nen exerciser, who explains what's going on, and this is the first time where they're Abengane. Not too big brain, I promise. Humility will get you nowhere. Your brain is too big. But no, it's cool. It's cool that it spoke to you that much. Okay, Abengane. Regardless, very important for the plot here, because he first sort of brings it to their attention the whole conflict that's going on with Genthru, and that he can rely on them. Tell other people about the bomber, avenge us. Don't let him clear the game, and it's brought forth for the first time. Really, they've just been training this whole time, which is cool, and it kind of proves gone right for not trusting in their ideology, right, in their ideals. Very unique names. Kind of a lot of the reasons why I'm, in a lot of ways, in a lot of circumstances, not able to remember them. Okay. Oh, and then yeah, he says you're the only ones I can rely on, but it's the only one. They're the only ones he could have found using magnetic force. But any bit you can do. And again, we have some low-key sort of makeup effects a little bit as well. And then we have the idea of this Nen exerciser ability here through Abengane. Genthru continues to do Genthru things, and then we have this bizarre... Someone was comparing it... Was it you, Hannah, who compared it to Jujutsu Kaisen? This guy did Jujutsu Kaisen? I'm not sure. The Geto, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So this is definitely comparable in the sound effects, in the presentation as well. I remember when I was like, wow, we can't wait for this guy to become such a big deal, and now I'm 40-something episodes into the Chimera, and who knows? if we can talk about events within the arc, do you think Chrollo snatched Abengane's? I don't know how to answer that without spoiling antagonist. To be honest, a part of me would have loved if at the end of the arc he actually killed Genthru and his goons without Gon and the rest ever finding out. That would have been cool because it would have been very natural, right? It would have been a subversion. It would have been really natural and consistent with the way that Togashi writes. It would have been interesting. So yeah, Gege is a big Hunter x Hunter fan, so not surprising. Yeah. I mentioned, someone asked me earlier about the Jujutsu Kaisen Hunter x Hunter parallels. I said I don't see many through what I've seen, but this is one. This is one that I saw. And yeah, they do the thing. Appropriate that Riot plays at this moment. And it's a bloodbath. Like, so crazy how we have super light, slice of life, wholesome moments, and then we go straight to a literal bloodbath. Yeah, I've heard that dark side. I haven't read the Jujutsu Kaisen manga. Will soon, eventually. Well, maybe not soon, but eventually. But yeah, I've heard that. That wasn't the deal. And then, yeah, a little play on words for the signal was... The release was a signal to explode, not disarm. This double spread in the manga is nasty. Ooh, I wish I had a link to it. I'd show it. But, like, just thinking about how the blown-up guy early on, how graphic that was, I can't imagine. I've seen it, obviously, so I don't... But I can't remember it at the moment. One day, I promise, once I get through, like, Sopranos and my Zelda manga. By the way, I finished Ocarina of Time. It was good. I enjoyed it. Maybe I'll get to Jujutsu Kaisen. Soon. It's there. It's on the list. And then, yeah, so he's stuck with this Nen troublesome partner here. I'm back and ow my feelings. Why ow your feelings? Welcome back, Davinator. We're ending it. We're finishing up soon. We'll maybe do one more episode after this. By the way, I love the illustration style of these trees here. I don't know how to describe it, but it's different than everything else, than the way everything else is drawn. It feels very hand-drawn, if that makes sense. It's definitely different, right? You can see it just feels, I don't know, less digital, maybe? Oh, Penguin Drum, right. You watched Penguin Drum. How was it? Davinator? Does Link actually have dialogue in the Zelda manga? Yes, he does. Better to have constant contact with Abengane himself. Oh yeah, you're talking about antagonist, right? It's so good. It's so good, Davinator. And so they're sort of weighing the pros and cons of potentially going to Genthru. Gon, of course, has a yearning, but it's not practical for a couple of reasons. But they say maybe on the horizon we could do something about it. Oh yeah, it's in my top 15 for sure, Davinator. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad it's one of your favorites. Who's your favorite character, by the way? More training talk. Sort of probing about the stuff that Genthru's crew have gathered. And then Killua just slightly blushing with the Kiriko. Cute. Gon being very greedy here. Making steady progress, continuing. Learning how to emit. And again, I love her patience, you know? He doesn't do much here. It didn't work. I can't reach it. That was just fine. Very encouraging, consistently positive, again, positive reinforcement. There's some negative in there as well, the push-ups. But, you know, Bisky's a great teacher. You did really well. That was just fine. I love it. Oh yeah, and maybe as a result of the positive reinforcement, right here. Let's try it again. Oh, I reached it, and I love the thick outlines around them. Oh, cool. Ringo's one of my favorites, Davinator. Glad you enjoyed it. You know Shoma's voice actor is Bokuto? I forget his name, but it's the same guy. Best boot camp ever. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, Shadow. Oh my goodness. Holy shit. Okay, guys, this is graphic, but this is how them blowing up in the manga looks. Jeez. Oh my goodness. That is wild. That is wild. I remember it now, but I didn't remember it being this graphic. Thank you, Shadow. Thank you, Shadow. Damn. Oh, also the links in chat. And then Kilo is retaking it. Also, love this. Great postcard memory. Okay, and then I think we can squeeze in one more. This stream's longer than I meant for it to be. I meant for it to be just a short 3-hour one, but that's okay. Yeah, I love this shot. Because 66 is a good spot, a stopping point. The manga is insanity. The brutality in there, good god. Okay. Last one, episode 66. I agree, it is a nice change of pace having Gon and Bisky, just those two together. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought. That was allowed in Jump? God damn. And then, yeah, Killua gets in. Alright, and then the Hunter exam. I guess we're in store for a Killua mini-arc. Tonpa? Welcome back, sir. Tonpa always on his grind. Always on his grind. Always doing his thing. as you are, as you would. You probably heard of the Goro Awase of Killua's Hunter exam. How 1219 stands for I ni iku, I'll meet up with you. I love it. Oh yeah, I did hear of that. Yeah, it's so cool because like that's gonna be missed for a lot of people as well. But it's put up in there regardless. It's put in there regardless. I love that. Yeah, the Rookie Crusher is back, doing his thing. Look at him. He's living his life. He's thriving. Oh, but then, oh shit. Oh no. Oh no. That interaction is so funny. I wonder if there's someone I know. These boys. Yeah, you stopped us last time, but it won't happen again. We've undergone hellish training, and then I love it. He just leaves. Yeah, bye. See you later. It's just a dismissal. Like, these guys, nah. You guys are background characters. You're NPCs. I feel really bad for Ponzu, too. I feel bad for Zapile, too. Everyone else I don't feel bad for. Also, this guy. Ponzu. Baby girl. Poor girl. Me seeing Killua see Zapile? Yeah, me 2 seconds later. Aww. Togashi understands Battle Shonen ability design really well. Give your protagonist a simple set of abilities and it never gets boring, since the protagonist has to use their power to adapt to situations instead of creating an identical situation with every fight. You see, with Luffy, Yuji, and even Hinata, I like how you use Hinata there, because it's a constant evolution of Hinata throughout the series and how he comes up to his obstacles and how he creatively thinks to use the weapons he can wield to go around them, right? Baldman in the back got my vote. Oh yeah, he's destined for great things, right? By the way, guys, I'm 99% sure I'm going to do, I don't think I mentioned it, because someone redeemed the exclusive One Piece stream reward. I'm 99% sure I'm able to do it Friday for about a couple of hours. Just pure One Piece read. So if you're interested in that, we're going to do it Friday, I think. Usual-ish start time. Usual-ish start time. Between 10 and 10:30 we'll start. But yeah. And then this guy. Good God. Thank you for the follow, Ruru, yeah? And then here we go. Alright, I'm probably good. Every stage of the exam should be like this. And then this. Forza pile, man. You're here. Better like come back next year. Sucks for you. Come on, Killua. You couldn't have just like. There's two of us. We both survived. He fought me off. You couldn't have. I guess not. This is efficiency. Kilu. This is efficiency at its finest, I guess. Kilu. Oh wow. Sorry, my mic peaked there. That's great. This will be the last time I attempt it. Alright, this is great. And then he has all the tags. Is there gonna be a second stage? And then I love the Netedo. Just keeping tabs on Netedo, just with the scene. Yeah, no other stage is necessary. The exam's done for today. Killua, denizen of the darkness. He's much stronger. I don't know, Gord. I'm actually not sure. Hey, work it, dude. Serotonin. Serotonin! Yay! I don't know this whole guy's deal. I don't know what this guy's deal is, but I love his vibe. Me too. Ooh. Oh, I can't play this Ava song. I'm gonna cry. So they catch up with the progress. They think about teaming up. Oh, and then seeing Crollo. Plot relevant. Doesn't make sense. You have to use Nen to enter the game. And then I love this. I love this because, Bisky, what are you talking about? Whoops. The classic. The classic. Yep, this is FF9's OST. This is Something to Protect from FF9. Oh, and then here, yes, we have this. It isn't the boss, yeah. And the Nen purging. And so they immediately clock the relevance of the Nen purging to Kurapika, which makes sense why they would, removing Kurapika's Nen and enter the game, and so that makes sense why they wanted to check with him, which is what they do, I think, this episode. And then the relevance of Greed Island with regards to York New City, and all the fortunes. East is the direction to go. Directly east of York New City. So cool. So cool. I love how the fortune ties in with this. Oh yeah, the anime's airing soon for FF9. I can't wait to check that out. I hope it's good. If it's not, then whatever. Nothing lost, but I hope it's good. You gotta be strong to be a hunter, kind of a stretch to focus much on this random line, but it really speaks of Gon's character too. He's almost obsessed with this concept to the point that it kind of becomes toxic, and he gets hurt various times in trying to prove himself in this arc. The whole theme of strength comes up in Chimera Ant. Yeah, it's all integrative like we were talking about with Jing, and the idea of strength and how it applies to him being quote-unquote worthy in his ultimate goal, right? Thank you, Dragonite. I imagine it would be a bunch of remixes, Gilgamesh. I don't think they'd be able to use... I don't think they would use it directly, but we'll see. Oh, almost everyone here, Antagonist, reads the manga. Or at least they did earlier on in the stream. So he must have hired someone to come to the island. His name and a hidden message. There's someone who can purge it on Greed Island. So they start looking for the Nen Exorcist. And then... nice ass shot. Thank you very much, Madhouse. Of course he comes up here. I love Hisoka and Greed Island. It's so great. You should praise my initiative since I helped you to understand Chrollo's message. I thought it was heavily anime only because we only talk about things one arc at a time. What is one arc? I don't understand what one arc at a time has to do with... Oh, you mean, I guess you're referring to post-anime stuff. Post-anime reading. Okay, I get that then. We'll be rereading Succession War together on stream. Well, we won't be rereading. I won't be reading it live on stream, but just so you know, we're going to be having discussions like this. I'll be reading it's separate from the stream, and then we'll talk about it after. I'm not sure if that's what you meant, Sebastian, but just clarifying. And yeah, the direction in this episode is really good. I just love the storyboarding. Just like this shot, it's just the layouts are nice. They're attractive. They show all the expressions here. You can see all the characters. Finks with no eyebrows looks distinctively angry. Yep. Yeah, okay. Gotcha, Sebastian. But yeah, we'll all be rereading together, or most of us, some of us, hopefully. I might take, Davinator, because we're doing Haikyuu after that, I might have to take a break for that, just to maybe a couple weeks or something to take a break, but I don't intend for it to be a long break. And then I intend to jump in again on Wednesdays. But the Haikyuu stream series is going to be shorter than the Hunter x Hunter one. I won't be going through individual episodes like this, but rather doing sort of all-encompassing things, similar to what I did with the Attack on Titan full series thing. And I'll have distinct stopping points and things like that. I will, Blossom Fully. I will. Don't worry. I'll look after myself. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Me too, Sebastian. Me too. I'm rereading it now. Oh my gosh, I tear up every chapter. Cool, Darkside. I can't wait. And then Kurapika here says I would notice 100% if the Nen was removed. So thanks for taking the trouble. And then we see here the state of Light Nostrad. Don't know why I pronounce it like that. Light Nostrad. He is just ruined. What am I? And then he goes, what am I gonna do this month? Restore Neon at once. Why did this happen? And then all that's happened, out of context, you would maybe assume she's badly hurt or something. She's maybe dead. But no, Neon's just lost her power. And that's his reaction. And I like the contrast between her just going, I wonder why it doesn't work. And him being devastated. But it does impact her quite a bit, because she based a lot of her life's philosophy and the way she looked at life around her fortune-telling. So it must be a gigantic blow. Gigantic blow to her. But the contrast in the reactions, it does tell a bit of a story. Haikyuu is my favorite manga. The stream series is going to be so good. I can't wait. Yeah, it'll be so great. We have good reason to believe Kurapika is actually wrong about this and misunderstood how Nen exorcism works. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Okay, cool. He was quite certain about it, but it... Damn, okay. Chrollo and Neon lost their Nen at the same time. Oh, true. True. Okay. And then they continue their quests. I love a lot of these little shots here and there. They rescue someone. She was in a hidden room. These quests. Killua channeling his inner Bisky for this. Love it. Thank you for the follow, Genesis Pancake. Great name. Paladin's necklace. Yup. Kurapika is smart, but to be frank, he doesn't have any experience with actual exorcists who are extremely rare, so it's natural he misunderstands how it works. Yeah, for sure. So when you wear this necklace, you can reflect all attack spells. And if you touch cards under the effects of Transform or Fake, it restores them to their original state. Important for the conclusion of the arc, but we'll get there next time. Oh, the despair of rebuilding your identity once you've lost something you have identified with most. Yeah, exactly, because you pour yourself into it. It's an encapsulation of you as a person, and then you lose it. What kind of hole must there be in your heart, in your life, in your sense of identity and self after that? It's an interesting idea, Darkside. What's the intake? I wonder if Togashi named her Neon because all the light in her life is artificial. Ooh, wow, ouch. God damn. Yeah, that is. She's forced to glow on her own. Oh yeah, and so they get contacted by dude here with the Santa hat. For this stuff. Genthru continues his monopolization. Says Geta is contacting him as well. Says Geta wants these specific cards. He's not going to let him have them, even though the trade was quite imbalanced. Just plot stuff here. Don't have much to say about it. And then they get to this. I love this. They get here the slot machines where you can get prizes from, and they use this dice. If we get good luck, we can win. Notably, the red bit there is the bad luck. But if you get bad luck, something bad will happen that cancels everything out. But that's only a 1 in 20 chance. And he's getting good luck because of it. It could be scary if you roll bad luck. Don't worry. It can't kill me. He kept on rolling that die. Yeah. Actually, I experienced this, but never made the link somehow. Yeah, that's a... Yep. I just love this. And then Killua's twitching eye. Perfect. Sorry about that, K-Sid. I'm sorry to hear that. And they roll, and he uses these guys as guinea pigs to roll the die. Just immense cruelty. Borderline sadism. Would you rather die right now, or die because of the bad luck? Genthru, not a good dude, not a great guy. But combat should be our last resort, which is interesting. They strike a deal. We have a great Killua. Yeah. Also, yeah. The juxtaposition, like Shadow says there, of this whole die situation between Gon's gang and Genthru. The context, the tonal whiplash between them. Yeah. Genthru is a sick man. That's Motorike. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, right. Okay, gotcha. The guy who tried to steal from them. That's him, right, it is. I'm so sorry about that, K-Sid. I'm so sorry about that. True antagonist. That's a nice connection. It's okay, K-Sid. Sometimes we're able to relate with stories in very unexpected ways, and being able to share that is, with people who are willing to listen is, I think, quite precious. So yeah. I kind of like how the bombers just act like friends in this scene, though, with their little chants and the whole working together thing. Yep. I wouldn't say it humanizes them in the way that Troop is humanized through their interactions, but it is cool. It shows an organic relationship around them, and I love. This is one of my favorite screens. And then coming up here is another one of my favorite screens. Right here. Look at. I love this. Also, minor spoiler, but minor spoiler for for something that's a bit of a recurring theme in Chimera Ant. Killua carrying Gon is something that happens a couple times in the future. Glad Gon's able to get one in here in a much more humorous context, but this is one of my favorite shots. I love Bisky just going like, yeah, let's go, and the lighting and the background art detail. It is one of my favorite shots. Yeah, I never planned on getting into the peak Greed Island stuff today. And then we got the Wau. And that's it. Yup, 85, 132, yup. Not the piggyback. Not the piggyback. But yeah, I think this is where we're going to end off today. Longer than I expected, but I mean, we had the Togashi return, so we had to talk about that for 40-45 minutes. And that's fine. That's fine. So next week we will be covering the second half of Greed Island. We'll end at the end of Greed Island. Hopefully we'll have time to do another tier list and character ranking sort of thing. But that's the plan for next week's Hunter x Hunter stream. You're welcome. You're welcome, guest. As for, again, and like I said, probably, I'll tweet out when it's a for sure thing, but probably this Friday I will be able to do a One Piece stream. A One Piece stream for a couple of hours. Same-ish time as usual. And then Sunday, we have the reactions to Kaguya-sama and the reactions to Spy Family and One Piece. And then Monday, Ace Attorney. We are finishing Ace Attorney on Monday, which is very fun. Glad you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you guys for coming out. And thank you for sharing your thoughts and insight as always. I always learn new things these streams. Gotta love it. And thank you for sharing your enthusiasm and joy for the return of Togashi. Thank you, favorite streamer, for a hit Hunter x Hunter stream. We should watch Hunter x Hunter sometime? You think we should? Want to go on a Hunter x Hunter date tonight, Louisiana? I'm down. Thank you guys for coming out. Let's just see if I can raid someone now. I'll see if I can raid someone today. Literally just Nixie. Okay, we'll do Nixie. So Nixie is deep into Elden Ring. So just beware of spoilers for that. You're very down? Okay, it's a date. I can't wait myself. See you Sunday, Davinator. And if anyone's interested, One Piece stream Friday, but yeah, Sunday business as usual. So yeah, Nixie's playing Elden Ring, so we'll do that. And there might be a new video sometime soon. I plan on it being today. It might not be today, but sometime soon. Okay, many thanks, guys. Have a great rest of the day.
This music is kind of spoilers for Alexander. Thank you so much for the raid.